stacked with a single slice of melty cheese on a golden bun. Now at McDonald's, get 2 McDouble burgers for $3. Whatever it is to you, classics are classics for a reason. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
It's time to get cozy with a stop at McGinnis Furniture in downtown Cherryville. They've got something for every room of your home, like inviting dining rooms, plus living room groups, relaxing bedrooms, mattresses, and more. Check out their home accessories, including stylish pillow throws, wall art, and more. And home office furniture, including functional desks, chairs, bookcases, plus locally owned and operated for 3 generations. That's McGinnis Furniture, 303 East Main Street, downtown Cherryville. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Visit the website at McGinnisFurniture.com and like them on Facebook too. Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville and the Falston Pharmacy in Falston are open to serve you. You can come on in and get your prescriptions filled, or you can continue to use their convenient drive-through window. And at Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville, the grill is also open for breakfast and lunch. You can even call your order in at 704-435-3259 and pick it up at the drive-through. And both stores are welcoming patient transfers. Buy local, shop local at Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street in Cherryville, and the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 North in Falston.
The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
Hello, this is Milton Baker inviting you to listen to NASCAR Racing right here on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Hunter, and it worked there. Hunter, you need to do something in there.
You need to do something in there, Hunter.
There you go. Did you do it?
Yeah, I did it.
You got it, Hunter.
We had to turn the simple phone off, right? There we go. All right, well, we've got, if you're listening on the radio, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, or online on ktcbroadcastings.com, streaming service around the world. For our listeners, we got a lot of listeners in Sweden for some reason. The radio AM bounces over there, then they listen online when they catch it and send us emails all the time.
I told you I had fans everywhere.
That's not that is not it. I think it's for Tim Johnson, Terry. Then folks, you can watch us live on YouTube every Saturday. Our intern is busily working on cutting some of the segments for us. Now that we've got no football and baseball is over for the Yetis, he's got plenty more time, and we're going to get on that. And so, big week this week, folks, in sports. We've got baseball, we've got basketball, we've got football, high school football, we've got college baseball. High school baseball starts next Friday. Tom, you ready for that?
High school baseball starts Tuesday.
Oh, well, for us
For
on
us,
KTC.
yeah. It start actually the first.
I'd use all calendars by our calendar.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that, but it'll be Tuesday, and I get to go down and umpire Crest and Forest View. What a game that's going to be! You know, those two are usually scrapping for the piece of the conference title or playoff spot. Good programs, good coaches down there at both schools, so it's going to be fun.
Well, as of Wednesday, I had 3 Yetis games to do this weekend, and 3 Cleveland County games on Friday night. Under no circumstances did I think, as of last night at 11 o'clock, I would have no games the rest of the weekend and week off. I just got to get you guys ready for some baseball broadcast next Friday, and I think we've got off the top of my head, I know in Shelby we've got East Gaston at Shelby on WHS. Cherville is at Christ the King, I believe. And then we got a Lincoln County matchup. Who's West Lincoln play Friday night? Do you know, Terry? I think we got you guys against North maybe next Friday night.
Yes.
If I'm thinking correctly.
Terry, I thought about you the other day. I was umpiring West Lincoln Middle and North Lincoln Middle. And I want to say one thing about both coaches. Both coaches, I think, set a fine example for their young men, and both of them do a very good job. I thought both of them are pretty fundamentally sound. North Lincoln ended up winning the game 7-1, but it was tight in the beginning. Both teams had very good pitchers, Terry, and both teams very fundamentally sound. They know what they're doing. Sometimes you get out there in middle school and kid doesn't know where to throw the ball or doesn't know. But by and large, I just want to brag on both those middle school teams that they do a good job, and that's probably why their varsities are usually successful, because they've got good feeder programs.
Yes.
So, but congratulations to, I think it's North Lincoln is the Panthers. I think they're middle school, and West Lincoln is the Chiefs.
Yep.
So congratulations to the Panthers. They beat the Chiefs 7-1.
That sounds not true at all. I don't believe the Panthers could beat the Chiefs. Oh wait, are we not talking NFL?
Hunter. Hunter at 808. It took me a second. I'm like, what is Hunter talking about? It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Now, wait a minute.
I'm awake now.
Yeah.
I'm awake now. But good middle school baseball around here. Good
Tom, I don't
school.
know if you were listening last night, but you're missing, if you weren't missing, Robbie Roop's dad jokes and his logic class that he was teaching. So whatever class he's teaching over there in Cleveland County, I'm sure that has to be entertaining.
Is he teaching at the college now?
No, I don't know exactly where he's at, but he had some good ones for us last night. All right, folks, we got scores from last night. I know some of y'all want that. We've got that. We've got NFL to talk about. The draft preview today. We're doing mock draft in a little bit here, the best we can, as bad as we can. Then we've got NBA standings, news, and updates as well. We've got Major League Baseball standings, news, and updates. Terry, you got anything to say about the Major League Baseball standings right now in this opening segment?
All I know is, as of today, Saturday, April the 24th, Kansas City's in first place. That's all I want Tom to know.
Enjoy it.
So, Terry, about 3 weeks ago, if I would have bet you, Terry, $1,000, all you gotta do is give me $100 if you lose. I'll give you $1,000. And I said Cleveland County will be knocked out in round 2, and Kansas City will be in first place on the same night, what would you have said to me?
First of all, I would have said no way with Cleveland County. And Kansas City, I might have said,
oh, God, here we go, Tom. Last place to first.
Chance. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, early, it's still early, but the Cleveland Indians, I think, would probably add me to the roster at my current teacher salary. They're a little cash strapped, so I mean, it's just going to be tough. You can't beat everybody 2-0 in Major League Baseball. It's just not the way it works, and they've lost a couple to the Yankees here. They're 8-11, and I think it's going to be a long season for Cleveland until they get their financials straightened out. And you got to, Terry, when it comes down to it, you got to pay somebody to hit. You know,
you do.
Hey,
it's
Tom,
expensive.
I got great news for you. Silver lining. You were wrong. They're 8-10.
Yeah, I know they're 8-10, 8-11, something like that. They're going to struggle.
All right, we're going to get into that. We're going to let's see. What else? Did I miss something, Hunter? You want to talk about your soccer people today?
What? The fact that the Super League was taken down?
Yeah.
You love to see it. Love to see
Oh,
it.
so you did, huh?
What did they basically say? The lower end teams weren't as competitive enough, so they're
I can learn to
basically-
understand you much better if I can get familiar.
Well, my computer just knows. Cortana's talking to.
Who was trying to get to know
That
us
lady
better?
didn't understand a word you guys were saying. Cortana
No.
didn't understand your southern
No,
slang.
I did not. But what I was saying, from what I understand, when I heard the commentary on it, is basically the top teams want to form their own.
Yeah.
Because the bottom, and then your boy Cowherd said the NFL should do that. We should eliminate 10 franchises to make it more competitive.
Well, you technically, in America, you probably could do that in baseball, basketball, and football.
but you don't want to.
I know you don't want. Obviously, you don't want to. Yeah. And what it was, the Super League. If you read into it, it was a greed thing for these top tier teams, because the way that UEFA Champions League is set up right now is it takes you probably the best teams that did really good the year prior from different leagues throughout Europe, England, Spain, Germany, whatever it is. But sometimes that means the world-class organizations, if they didn't do good the year prior, it's not an automatic bid that you're in. So they're missing out on the money that comes with getting to UEFA. So it's a money grab, because with the Super League, essentially what it is no matter how they do in their respective league every year, they're guaranteed, those teams that signed up to be a part of it play in that little tournament. So it's like, I think they said these teams would have been getting around $4 billion, like just as a collective. So it was just a big money grab thing is what it is. And why people were so mad about it is because it is, say there is a year that one of the smaller teams wins it. Well, you're taking away the stiff competition that they would have had, and the possibility for the fans going to play at some of these big, or going to see them play at these big esteemed stadiums that have all this history over there. So, I don't know. It was what made the fans so mad was just how just of an apparent greed and money grab thing it was, because it was basically how we throw it around with college football. It was elitism at its best. We're the high and mighty teams. We should always make the tournament.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. That was my next question, Hunter. Well, how do you see that, what they doing over there? We've got regulation and how the soccer.
Yeah.
Should college football be looking at a lot of these soccer, the ways they do some of that with the, should there be a Super 16 league? In
100%.
In college.
I think they could. They could do it. Now, for us, could we sit here and say that would be good? I don't know. That's for interpretation, because there are so many different teams in college football. But you're right. You could take Ohio State out of the Big Ten. Sure, it would hurt the Big Ten, but you could take them out. Alabama out of the SEC. Clemson out of, I'm just thinking of the top in each 5. Clemson out of the ACC. Oklahoma out of the Big 12. And Oregon out of the Pac-10, and then maybe take the second-place teams right there. That's 10 teams for a whole conference that just is for your elites that can be considered for your college football playoff every year. And then everybody else can just go. But then you look at it like, well, then you're just guaranteed the money. You're the one that, because of your name.
Isn't that the point of college football?
Right. So
not for the education, Tom.
It's also for high school sports. I did listen to that segment. It just seems like everybody's got to get their money. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is, and it's unfortunate, but business is business. I mean, even in this business, money talks. So you hate to think of it that way because for a lot of us, it is entertainment at the end of the day. It is supposed to be just something fun that you can root for your team. But in their front offices, they're not really thinking about that at the time.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Should you take, like when you're talking about the teams, it's kind of like our 16-team tournament is pretty much what we're talking about here. They wouldn't even look at the non-Power 5 teams for that, right?
Right.
They wouldn't even think about App or any of the ones like that. So what I want to say about that is I've seen some of those lists that include Michigan in the list for the name. And I'm like,
well, you're right.
They definitely don't deserve it football-wise in the past 20 years. And even so let me put it this way, guys. Since App ended Michigan, they're 3-7 in bowl games. App is 6-0, same level, bowls.
He's still talking about Appalachian State, Michigan.
I'm asking Tom why. What I'm saying is that when they do this, what's going to happen is that they're going to put teams out, and they're going to put teams in. They would say, well, let's put Michigan in because I guess whatever they made. Well, I guess they were good in the 30s.
It's the name.
And I mean, Ohio State has beat them 27 straight times. Like
not that many, but a lot.
That's like letting State in from after. It's just not. I don't get
the NC State dig.
There you go.
It is. Got that too.
I'm just saying some of these teams are going to get in just because of a name as opposed to what they've done.
But here's my whole deal with doing stuff like that. By the time you do that, and all of a sudden Oregon ends up having to play Alabama, Clemson, and all these teams, Ohio State, all of a sudden then Oregon says, I don't want in this thing. I want out of this thing because I'm going to finish near the bottom every year.
Well, Vanderbilt ain't left yet.
I was about to say, think about it.
Vanderbilt ain't quit yet. They taking that money, Terry.
Think about it. So I'll just equate.
Alabama's playing Vanderbilt's bills.
College football to the Super League. Would Oregon say it was like a Super League and we're putting all the top teams from each Power 5 conference and Oregon is make it? Why would, even if Oregon has the opportunity to finish middle of the road in, say, just the 10 teams, why would they say no if they're guaranteed almost $50 million every year towards their program? You see what I'm saying?
So you mediocre.
Like, think about these NFL teams. You think Jacksonville, you think the owner just loves going 0-16 every year, or does he enjoy seeing that check at the end of the year that he makes off of all the revenue that he gets?
Like, yeah, I mean, they can get a bunch of more uniforms to wear.
Terry,
I guess it make them look pretty.
Jerry Jones ain't shed a tear or bought a new uniform yet in Dallas.
But if you think about it, no one wants to admit it, but college football, the playoff right now is the Super League.
Right.
Because that's exactly what it is, because they're only really pulling from those five, 6 same teams every year right now. That's all
true.
it is. That's the truth. And I'll go ahead and say
a Super League would get more teams involved.
I know, but I'll just say it's like I get it. Those are the best programs right now in the nation. But if we're going just straight off who deserves it, it's hard for me to look at those 2 and 3 loss teams whenever. They can't help, like when I was high on Cincinnati last year, and they barely lost to Georgia in the bowl game, an SEC team. I'm like, they couldn't have. What would have hurt them to play Alabama, get that money, and if they lose by 20, I mean, Alabama routed the team they played in who was it that they even played in the first round? Wasn't Notre Dame, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, what would be the criteria? Is it money or is it not? So if, Notre Dame's getting in no matter what, money wise.
But the Super League.
Texas is going to get in if you're looking at money wise.
Yeah, true.
There's no way Texas is not getting in.
The way that it was set up for the Super League in soccer, you're talking about major global brands that are the biggest in Europe or in Spain, Germany, Italy, England. One I can say in particular, everybody in this room probably has heard of Manchester United. But they have had awful years.
Who does he play for?
So they have not. Yeah, I know, right? So they've not been able to make UEFA. So they're missing out on money, but they're such a global brand. You would think, we're supposed to make it every year. We're Manchester United. We are soccer royalty. And so you could look at the same way, like when you keep out these Oklahomas and whatnot in college football, how they're, But we're Oklahoma. And to Kevin's point, if college football almost could technically get away with this sometimes, is we're Texas. We're Southern California.
You know, Hunter,
we are royalty in college football.
Hunter, I'm glad you're in here because, I mean, like I said, you're a soccer man and you
sweet.
know soccer.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, I mean, but on my end, when I look at it, I could care less what they're doing.
Right.
I mean, I'm really, from my end, but you're a soccer man and I understand all that. You watch all this and you see all this. On my end, okay, if they're not playing in the United States, why am I worrying about what's happening over there? But when it shows it up on the global thing, it's showing us at the bottom what's happening, But I mean, the only time I look at the world is when the Olympics come around.
Yeah.
Then it's United States versus such and such.
Well, technically, it's the United States ain't versus nobody because they never make it there.
Well, yeah. That's the sad part.
They don't even make the tournament. They're in the NIT, Terry.
The men don't. The women do.
Well, yeah, the women.
It's easy for a lot of us to get caught up in our domestic sports, and obviously we have the MLS, but it's not promoted nearly as much as basketball, football, and baseball. But another thing that really killed the Super League fast, one, it was announced, and when it was announced, I think it was not even 24, 48 hours that teams that had signed to be a part of it were already pulling out because of the fan backlash. Oh, my God. The fans were ridiculously upset about it. But not only that, FIFA itself was saying they were going to try and get involved. And players that were going to take part with their club in this Super League were not going to be allowed to play with their respective country when it came time for FIFA. So for the United States, our best players right now, they do play on some of those teams. Pulisic, who's the best young player we've probably had since when Landon Donovan was playing. I mean, he plays for Chelsea, who would have been a part of it. So for us, who already, it seems like for the past 5 to 6 years, have struggled to try and qualify for the World Cup, because we didn't qualify for the last one, which was an embarrassment, but if he would not have been able to play because he's taking part in that Super League, that just hurts us even more. That hurts our chances.
So that was the FIFA committee basically.
That was what they wanted to do. Now, I don't know if they could really enforce that, but that's what they wanted to do because they were just so against it. But that's just how it was.
It's just another story of follow the money. If you want to figure out what's going on, just follow
and
the money.
They made a. But to your point, though, and to a lot of people's point, if I sat here and said there's getting ready to be a league where we see nothing but the elite teams play or like the historic teams play, it would be hard for us as Americans who want to watch the best of the best. It would be hard for us to be like, no, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
But there's a bigger picture outside of it.
It doesn't have as broad as appeal if
No.
your town doesn't have a team. So I mean, what you're talking about would appeal to soccer fans.
Mm-hmm.
There's soccer fans and there's probably like Man U fans. You know what I mean? So there's a difference. It's kind of like I catch myself doing that. I'm more of a Cleveland Indians fan than I am a Major League Baseball fan.
Right.
So you're going to lose that demographic if you go in that direction.
Right.
So I don't know if it would long term how it would work out, but I will say this, Hunter. I'm going to give you some credit. That is the longest soccer segment we've ever had on Saturday
But I'm
Morning
glad he's
Sports.
in here because he understands it. I mean, he named a guy I didn't even know, and he said he's the best we got.
But what? Even though it's a soccer segment, the whole idea of a Super League can be compared throughout football.
Right, I want to talk
baseball,
about college
basketball, college.
The NFL will never do it because what the NFL has
they don't have to.
is they have managed to make their league competitive.
Yeah,
they have.
Yeah, because when Cleveland can actually rise from the ashes and be in the Super Bowl conversation, it just seems like in other sports,
basksalball and baseball could do this though.
Who's heard about Sacramento in years?
Well, I'm guessing, Hunter, there's no salary cap in the Euro League soccer.
Mm-mm.
So that's what I'm saying. There's no salary cap in baseball.
No.
And you wonder why there's elitism. There's no salary cap in football. In college football, they say we all have the same number of scholarships and whatnot. That's the salary cap, but we all know it's not how that works. So the sports that really don't have salary caps have a very big unbalance. Now, the NBA, their unbalance is player movement to the big markets that's uncontrolled. So when they get released or forced trades, that's their issue. Football, like Tom said, for the most part, they've got that down to where a science as far as
because very rarely does a
goes.
player in football, if he demands a trade, does he get to say, yeah, but you can only trade me here. They do that in basketball. Says, look, I'm demanding a trade, but if you don't trade me to, let's just use Brooklyn in this case. If you don't trade me to Brooklyn, then I'm not playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They kind of handcuff the
Harden did
teams.
that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
James Harden did
So,
that.
I
He
mean,
had his
you know, I
choices.
mean,
He had
it's-
his choices.
it's like
what
time
happened back in
changes.
the day when you were getting ready to you demand for a trade, and they were like, "All right, well, I'll just send you to the worst team in the league. You don't want to be here." I mean,
Can't do that anymore.
no, God,
No
forbid.
trade clause. No trade clause.
God
in my
forbid. I'm almost like if I was a general manager and I had a guy come up to me and say, "Well, we want a no trade clause," I'd say, "I'm sorry."
But you're seeing the same
Well,
thing.
go
you're,
away.
you're seeing the same thing in college with this transfer portal,
Oh,
where they can basically go where they want.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think there's a power shift that's going on,
Yeah, they are.
and I think everything we've talked about is a power shift from organizations to players to kind of dictate where they want to go.
The worst part about that,
God forbid the players choose where they go instead of
And
Nick Saban.
Come on,
Nick Saban, let's make him more powerful.
Kevin,
let's make Dabo more powerful.
Kevin, it's a good point. It's a good point.
That's a good point. But my whole dealing behind that is you're not going to be able to coach because if I piss a guy off, guess
He's gonna
what?
leave.
Next year he's leaving.
He's going to leave.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So there's no stability that you're going to have at that school. And
Jalen
if you're
Hurts
gonna
is doing
become a
fine.
coach, I don't know.
Listen, this is what
Jalen Hurts
you're
is
going
doing
to start
fine.
seeing.
Cam Newton's doing fine.
You're going to start seeing more college coaches retire because of this.
Oh yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
They're not going to put
that's
up with
it.
it.
Coach K.
Good. That'll make the other schools better than the
Probably.
traditionals.
I mean, probably,
the North
but-
Carolinas, the states will get better.
Yeah,
Terry,
I
you
think-
need to pull for the system to fall down for state to get better. It's not going to happen.
No,
You need
we're
a different
fine.
system.
No.
Oh, you are. You just talked about the other teams being mediocrity, but now you're like, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. I mean, I just don't like the transfer in 1 year, and then all of a sudden, all these conferences going, okay, we're going to drop this, so you can transfer in our own conference. So if I don't like you, and I'm going to go somewhere where I can play you twice.
I understand a 1 year on a 1 year moratorium maybe on your own conference for that. I do get that maybe, but as far as the other ones, like there's 300 schools. Pick a different one.
I mean, think about it.
But if you
want
wanted to sit out a year,
now,
maybe
think
sit them
about
out 1 year if it is within the conference. I get that,
it.
too.
Well, check you out at Carolina. Look what's happened there. Kessler
really,
gone to
yeah.
Auburn.
Yeah.
Brooks gone to Mississippi State. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Brooks left too.
Yeah.
He's a graduate
Hey.
transfer.
Graduate.
Yeah,
Good.
and
None of
then-
those are NBA players. It's time for Hubert
Well,
Davis to
then,
get in there
you know,
and
what's
recruit
the
some
other
good
kid in the
players
middle that played
instead of
to
this
come in
trash
too
they've
sharp?
had for the last 15 years.
Dayron, yeah, he went to the
Dayron,
draft.
yeah, he's going to the draft. I mean, you know,
Good
all
for
of a
them.
sudden, all you got's Bogert. That's it. You went from 4 big men down to 1, which I mean, Bogert ought to stay because
Terry,
this is all his.
remember that Matt Doherty had to clean Bill Guthrie's house so Roy Williams could fly with Doherty's players. You got to clean the players out that ain't good enough to go. Roy Williams has never had an NBA All-Star or 20-point scorer at Carolina. Those kids ain't it either. And it's time for them to bring in the big boys, Hubert Davis and the gang, and I think they're going to. Now, hey, real quick for the next segment, let's play guessing game. I put together a 16-team Super League based on solely this. The last 16 teams to win the national championship.
And this is college football? Or
Yes, college
basketball?
football. College football.
Okay.
So, let's see if you guys can name them really quick.
LSU.
Yes.
Alabama,
Yes.
Florida,
Yes.
Ohio State.
Yes.
Florida State.
Yes.
Clemson.
Yes.
In the last 15 years?
No, just I had to name the last 16 different national championships.
Oh, that's
this,
right.
this could go back 70 years because
Nebraska.
of some of these teams.
Is it Nebraska?
Yes.
Tennessee.
Tom.
Did Tennessee
Tom.
win?
Tom.
They won one.
You're the only 10 I see.
Oh.
And it was not with Peyton Manning.
You're
It was
asking.
led by Bessemer City running back Philip Crosby and T. Martin.
Yeah.
We name Oklahoma.
You just did.
Okay.
Texas.
Yes.
Southern California.
Yes. Y'all ain't missed one yet. That's what's good so far. Now, here we're getting down to the nitty gritty. You got 4 more.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You got 4 more to make it 15, and then we got a play-in game.
Miami.
Yes.
Georgia Tech.
They're in the play-in game.
So they're close.
Michigan.
Nope.
No, I thought, okay, so it must be further back.
That's what I'm saying. They don't deserve any of this. It wasn't an app dig. It was a Michigan dig, Tom.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any Pac-12 school that was worth
That's
it.
what I'm saying. We're back
Dun,
in the
dun,
70s
dun.
right now.
Hey, there's one Pac-12, one SEC,
Is it UCLA?
and one ACC.
One ACC. Virginia Tech?
No.
No, they don't.
Y'all
We've
started
already
missing them
named
now.
Miami and Florida State. So who else from
There's
the
one
ACC?
SEC, one ACC, one Pac.
Trying to think what other SEC schools won a national championship.
Georgia hasn't.
Nope.
No. Yeah.
They are not allowed in the big dog tournament. Georgia's in the what's the AAA?
Is it Arkansas?
Auburn.
There you go, Cam Newton.
Oh, that's right. And they made it the year Florida State won with Jameis, but they got beat.
So now we're an ACC team and a
ACC and a Pac to round out the 15, and then Tom, there's a Pac. I think they're in the Pac-12 now. They've changed conferences a couple times, but there's a team that's in the Tom. You should get this. Georgia Tech. Who would they be playing in a play-in game to get in this tournament?
It wouldn't be BYU, would it?
Come on, Terry. You know the answer to that too.
No, they're Mountain West.
Yeah.
Who is Georgia Tech playing
Actually,
in the
they're
play-in game?
independent now.
It wouldn't be Utah, would it?
1990 national championship was split.
Utah
Georgia
State?
Tech? No, Georgia Tech split it with somebody, and I can't remember
Right.
who they split it with.
The Buffaloes of Colorado.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So-
Okay.
And in fact, they were the 16th championship, so it worked out perfectly.
Okay.
As in the play-in game, they tied for the national championship, and they were the 16th team once I counted all the way back. The last
Gotcha.
ones to win
So
it.
we're only missing two then.
Two,
other
the
Pac-12
ACC and
the
Pac-12.
ACC team. God, now I'm just
It is
listening
not
to
Oregon.
ACC.
It's not UCLA.
and we've already named Florida State and Miami.
Now wait, have
So
they
now we're
always
back to
been an
pick somebody else.
ACC team?
Well,
or
most
was
of
this
these teams have not always been an ACC team.
Huh?
Florida State, Miami, and Clemson have not always been ACC teams.
Syracuse never won one, did they?
Nope.
Back in the
No.
back in the heyday.
All right, I'll give you a hint on one of them. It's Tom's favorite team, second favorite team. The Pac-12, if y'all name all the Pac-12 teams, you'll get it, but,
It's not Oregon.
no.
Stanford.
Nope.
Is it one of the Arizona teams?
Nope.
We got to just go all over it. All over the West Coast. Washington.
There you go.
Wow.
1991, they split with Miami, Florida. 12-0. Washington, Miami was 12-0. Dennis Erickson in Miami. Don James was the coach in Washington in 1991 split championship.
Now I'm still thinking it's ACC. Not
ACC?
Boston College.
Mm-mm.
We've already named Virginia Tech.
So wait. So
It can't. Well, see, Maryland's not ACC anymore, so it can't be.
Florida State and Miami
Can't be
are the only
Virginia.
teams in Florida.
ain't
Georgia
Duke, it
Tech's
ain't
the only one in
Ain't
Georgia.
nobody in North Carolina. None of that.
None of them in North Carolina.
No.
We know that.
So we've already got Clemson in South Carolina.
And we've named
And it's not
Miami,
Virginia Tech. Is it
Florida
Virginia?
State.
No.
No. My God.
I'm running out of teams. Is it Pittsburgh?
Notre Dame. Notre Dame's not an ACC team.
They were this year. They were this year. Gotcha. Trick question, Tommy. I said, Tommy, hit your favorite team. They're in the ACC.
It is not my favorite team.
Second favorite.
They are a disgrace to Catholicism.
They got to play 1 year and then jump out. Good
They are a
job.
I
disgrace
know, that is
to
a
the
joke.
Catholic
They
Church.
represent the ACC in the
Well,
championship.
even though they have to play a majority of ACC teams on their schedule as an independent to be bowl eligible. So I
I
just
think
don't.
that's just to keep ties with the ACC and decide when we want to come back and play again.
Oh, God, I don't think they
Yeah.
realize they probably would make more money being a part of a conference than an
Yeah.
independent.
Coach
but
Pruitt said
whatever.
they're not part of the ACC either.
There you go.
not-
we
they're
were
not
with
part
you,
of the
buddy.
ACC.
That's fine.
I'm
Either
telling
way. Either way.
We never even thought of them.
No.
Well, Hunter said, did they used to be, or they have always been? And I said, not all of them have always been part of the ACC.
That's
I
right.
gave as many hints as I
Yeah,
can
good
without
answer.
doing the fight
Good
song.
question.
See, but that's why
But,
I
hey,
said Syracuse.
here's how big of a fan Tom is. He knew the fight song.
Indiana.
Tom knew
who
it by
doesn't?
heart when he heard it.
Who hasn't seen the movie Rudy? Okay.
Tom
I mean,
knew the fight song.
All you got to do is watch.
What's the words, Tom?
Yeah, I don't know.
A certain channel, and they own it every Saturday.
Dun, 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 dun,
Every
dun. Notre Dame. Dun, 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 dun. Notre Dame. I don't know the fight song. All I know is I wish the Pope would kick them out of the Catholic Church, but he won't do it. Please excommunicate the entire Notre Dame community, and I would be fine with that.
I don't
'Cause
even know
they
what-
are just a money grabbing school, and I just can't stand it. But anyway,
I tell you what,
That's my
real quick before we go to break, the one song I hate is the USC song, and the reason why is because on the college football game,
That's all you'd hear.
it is played every play.
Well, I mean,
over and over.
They were a
and
dynasty at one point.
But they should load up another song or two for the game.
You're
That's
right.
all I'm
You're
saying.
right. I know exactly what you're talking about. After a while, it was like, come on now.
All right. Real quick as we go to break, see if you guys can name this song. It's a song, but it's also a lot of bands play this. This is one of my favorite band songs. It's not the app song. I'm not messing with you, Tom. Okay, it's not hi whatever they do. I don't even know what they do. It's awful. Here. Wisconsin. Oh, that's just them cheering. They're gonna play the song. Maybe not.
They play Jump Around.
That's not right. No, gosh dang it. I'll find the right one in a minute. That was the wrong one. Sorry. All right, guys.
Technical support.
Where's JP? Where's JP?
JP was supposed to have this loaded up, and he decided to ditch us this morning.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Car with a lifetime warranty. The answer is Friendship in Forest City. Friendship has lifetime used cars. Unlimited time, unlimited miles. That's Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City.
Ace knows the power of steel, and Ferguson Ace Hardware is your home for famous steel chainsaws, trimmers, and blowers too. And they also have a parts and service department. And it's Ace Power Days at Ferguson Ace Hardware. It's time to get powered up for spring. See the Ego battery-powered mowers, trimmers, and blowers with power load technology. That's Ferguson Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
Hi, this is Vince Hefner, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Cherryville. I'd like to share with you my favorite passage of Scripture in God's Word. Philippians 4, verse 8 tells us this, "And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all that you have learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you." This is Vince Hefner, pastor of the First Baptist Church of Cherryville, reminding you God loves you.
Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia has just gotten a whole lot bigger, and we mean a whole lot bigger. They have just purchased MS Power Sports in Gastonia and are now your dealer for Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, along with CF Moto, Yamaha, and Polaris. Golf carts too. One big dealer under one big roof, plus a complete parts and service department. That's Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Your local Train Comfort specialist, Roland Black Heating and Cooling, has been serving Gaston County with quality-built Train heating and air conditioning systems for over 45 years. Hurry and call today to check out the great deals on Train systems offered by Roland Black Heating and Cooling. Whether it's commercial or residential, Train is there for you. Ask about your new, super efficient Train XV20i today. Call Roland Black for all the details, 704-865-1375, or go online at rolandblack.com and request an appointment. Again, call 704-865-1375. Roland Black Heating and Cooling, 501 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Remember, it's hard to stop a train.
Well, now take down your fishing pole and meet me at the fishing hole.
It's time to go fishing. Whether it's at your favorite fishing hole or the lake or even the ocean, the Great Outdoors in Cherryville is what you need. Come see their full line of fishing tackle. Visit the all-new reel shed and boats too. Bass boats, pontoon boats, and pleasure boats. They've got them all. So take down your favorite fishing pole and head to the Great Outdoors in Cherryville. Highway 150 East, right behind McDonald's. Online at teamgreatoutdoors.com. Like them on Facebook too. Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby has just received a big new shipment of scratch and dent refrigerators. Yes, these hard-to-find refrigerators are now in stock in Shelby at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, and a great selection to choose from. Some with French doors, side-by-sides, and top-mounted Samsung refrigerators. See them today at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at hendrickappliance.com, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Save the date. That's Friday, April 16th, for for the Giant Spring Open House event at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby. There will be super specials on their full line of equipment. Take 15% off Shindawa trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws. Plus, the boss will be there broadcasting live from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. Again, that's Friday, April 16th, the Spring Open House event at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, 110 Grigg Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Hey, look at them beans. And look at that corn. And I bet them watermelons must be 3 feet long.
Your beans will look that good with a stop at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. Come get your seeds now and get a head start on that spring garden. Beans, corn, cantaloupes, cucumbers, squash, and more. And now's the time to put on that crabgrass preventer. Plus, you'll find mulch, fertilizer, lime, pine needles, and grass seed too. Get those seeds now at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
That's what I was trying to play.
It's the Crest Chargers.
That's called the horse, Tom.
It's the Crest Chargers.
It's definitely not the Crest Chargers. Just because they copied someone else's, they like their logo and their colors.
This is what they used to play.
They're the Green Bay Packers logo and colors.
This is what I used to. They used to play when I came out on the field when I played high school football.
Right.
Got the crowd pumped up when I came into the game.
Well, see, Tom, the Cherville Ironmen, believe it or not, play Ozzy Osbourne Iron Man, but it's not the Cherville Ironman song. It's, Ozzy Osbourne song.
I understand the explanation. And you know what else I understand is Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has a lot of good Dodge products, Jeeps, Chrysler. Go see them, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina. 828-919-3001. Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension, Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Get yourself a Rogue. Get yourself a Jeep. Take your tax refund to Friendship. Call my brother Danny and his girlfriend Carrie. They are proud customers of Friendship and love their Dodge product. So thank you, Friendship, for making Saturday morning sports talk possible.
Thank God we don't put Danny's phone number just out here in the ether, because I can imagine as much as you tell people to call him, like he's a great reference.
He's not doing anything.
He might be blowing his phone up.
He's not doing anything. He likes to go play golf on the weekend. It's raining. He's inside.
Kevin said before we came on that we've got a lot of listeners somehow in Sweden, so he might be getting some international phone calls about these so-called, what would they say, doges over there? I don't know how.
How many listeners do we have in Sweden?
In Sweden.
Right now, currently, I'm not sure. But we do have a phone caller. Coach Pruitt's on the phone. He wanted to kind of clear up time with.
Maybe he's from Sweden.
He's not from Sweden.
Sweden.
He wanted to clear
from Sweden.
He wanted to clear up for you guys what was going on the sideline timeout stuff and everything, Tom. So, Coach Pruitt, good morning, sir. Good to see you stop by last night and talk to us a little bit. And good morning. Happy Saturday. And he agrees with you guys, of course, Notre Dame and the ACC.
Yeah, I was thinking Pitt. I was thinking Tony Dorsett or Lou Dan Marino or whoever back in the day. But, hey, it's hard to forget Lou Holtz and Tim Brown. Holy cow. That's a good football team.
Yeah, but they didn't. Pitt didn't win it when they had Marino, did they?
Yeah, I was
win it.
trying to go back and think. They got close. I knew they played maybe in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I knew they had a good team. And then
good football.
And then the rumors about Dan Marino's party life, and he had to leave Pittsburgh. So I vaguely remember that from a long time ago.
Dan Marino, always a bridesmaid. He was a great quarterback there.
Yeah,
I mean, gosh, what an arm.
Well, Coach, you were at the game last night, obviously. I do want to apologize on behalf of the school that I think that emotions got the best of some folks and some things, it just happens in a game like that. It's a very emotional game. It's very close, very competitive. It's for the Western Regional Final. So, I'm going to give everybody kind of a pass on that with an apology attached. But there was some confusion about did they have a timeout or not. And what I kept saying is, though, and I'll let you explain it, Coach. And I just want to get this out there: you can't give up that 36-yard pass. You can't give that up. That's really what lost you the game not the timeout situation. But that being said, I know that the optics are everybody's focused on the timeout situation. So I'll let you go ahead and explain that.
Well, I mean, give credit to the Salisbury quarterback for extending the play. I mean,
right.
I do not know where the Starnes kid is going to school, but that kid is a player, and he was in the backfield all night.
Good kid, too.
And, he did extend that play, and he made a good throw. But it was a good high school football game, two very talented defense. Overtime would have been an interesting thing if they would have got to overtime with the way those two defenses were playing. But on my perspective of that, in the third quarter, it seemed like maybe there was a change of possession, and Salisbury is first down. Burns got a couple of yards, and then it looked like Salisbury maybe wasn't lined up right, or something was out of sorts. And it looked to me like the defense coordinator was right there beside the line judge and said, timeout, just a couple seconds before the ball was going to be snapped. And of course, Burns seems like they, for me, just trying to go see Shelby and Burns, they take a good look at the defense and then try to get in the right play, which a lot of people do that in these days. And when he did, he blowed the whistle, kind of signaling a timeout. And then I saw Coach Henson, who's the head coach, come barreling down the sideline and say, "Hey, I'm the head coach. I didn't call timeout," which as a head coach, you have that talk with the officials. And a lot of times they say, "Who's the person on the sideline that can call a timeout?" And of course, they're talking to the head coach usually when they say that, and you say yourself. But for Jerry Cash, who's up in the box at Thomas Jefferson, he's the head coach and he's not on the sideline. So for each team, it's going to be possibly someone different, but for most teams, it is the head coach. And I think Coach Henson made that comment, "Hey, I didn't call that timeout," and they kind of blowed the whistle, brought the headline over, and then it looked like the line judge for Burns went to David on that sideline, and they had a conversation, or maybe went to the offensive staff, whoever was in the huddle, and or try to get them back on the field. But I think Burns kind of used a little more time than Salisbury used more time than Burns at that time, just to talk to their kids, and they got back out there and started playing. So in my mind, that wasn't going to be a timeout, but for everybody over on the opposite side that might not have been there in the huddle when the official walked in, probably knew that. And you get to the last couple minutes of a ball game, and obviously, I think David had all three timeouts, Tom, didn't he, in that last possession, because he burned him on the kicker.
But the strategy might have been, if they understood it, I just want to say this, that maybe they would have used the timeouts to save time to give themselves another chance instead of letting it run down. Yeah.
Correct. And, and then I thought Salisbury had drawn Burns off sides earlier in the game, and I thought they were going to go up there and try to jump them. But as a coach, when you're on the borderline of field goal range, you're kicking a high school kid 38 yards, you might not want to go out there and do that. We did that this year in what ended up being a punting situation for us, where we tried to draw the other team off sides and we drew ourselves off sides. And that happens with a young team. So I thought they was going to draw them, and then I was like, well, he's going to wait and burn that time out. And then, of course, things happened as they did. But give that kicker credit. He missed the field goal earlier in the game. It seemed like a very close field goal. A lot of the kids on the field reacted like, "Oh, man, I thought that was good." And, of course, in high school football, not everybody's got the tall extended goalpost. I guess Shelby might have the tallest in the area. I haven't been to a game at Kings Mountain. Might see a few videos here and there. But overall, it was just a great high school football game, and get an opportunity to see as many people that were at the game, and just two good high school football teams. I mean, Salisbury gets North Davidson again, but it's hard to believe that there's two better defenses than the two that were on that field in that classification. So it's going to be interesting to see how those teams fare as they go through the rest of the year.
Yeah, you mentioned Dorian Starnes. I would say Al Goodson had a great game. Undersized at the D line, but I tell you what, he can really get off and get after the quarterback.
16?
He's number 18.
18.
Jack Curtis is 16. He's played a lot of good defense. Silas Tate.
He had to make a few plays too.
Yeah, Silas Tate, who got hurt there at the end, did something to his ankle. But Kavion Hopper and Lance Beatty in the middle of the defense, they've been doing a good job. So, I mean, all around, I think Backus has done a good job in the secondary amongst others. Kahari Haynes has played well too. I mean, I know I'm forgetting a few guys, but on the defensive side of the ball, you couldn't ask for much better. And, David's a defensive guy, so it doesn't surprise me that they have played so well on that side of the ball. But, I think, something else that we haven't really talked about, because the optics are now, or the timeout, timeout gate. It's going to be that way for 10 years at Burns. But I know you were there and watched Ben Mooney on that one drive where he was like 6 for 6 or 7 for 7, and they flipped the field, and then in my humble opinion, I didn't really like going to the Wildcat in that situation. Not when I've got Norris and I've got Wilson. I'm going to give them the crack there because with my, I know they might say, well, you got a freshman quarterback and all that, but I'm going to trust those two running backs down there. And they try, I'm sure they saw something on film and they've worked on it in practice and they felt pretty confident with it. But I kind of wish they would have given it to Allen or Norris in that situation.
Those are two really good young running backs. Yeah. And when that one kid got loose, I didn't realize that was the freshman that scored the touchdown.
Yeah, he's really good.
But trying to think about, preparing for the years to come, that was my plan. I watched a little Shelby last week and Burns this week. But the other part, which, when you go back and you watch games, you see situational things, just like you're talking about. You get in the red zone, but you have a plan. And I would imagine, Mr. Sweets is a pretty good runner,
right?
Inside the red zone, and when you lose that maybe element of your game, then you go on to say, "Hey, what can we do to get a good yard or two in the situation?" But like I noticed right before the touchdown, Tate came in to go to that blocking back, and he sealed the edge, and both the linemen come around and they got on their guys, and that's all it takes for in a really good high school football game with a really good high school running back to give them that step, and then. Maybe the safety takes a bad angle. I think that y'all have that highlight on KTC. I watched it last night, but I think one of the passes that in the freshman quarterback, y'all had a one-handed catch going down the sidelines on the
that was
Thompson.
Thompson,
and then the Tate kid was kind of open in the flats, but he kind of tried to drop it in, and there was a good defensive play because there's a guy kind of in front of him. But little plays like that, but seeing situational things where coaches have tendencies when they go to certain situations when they say, "Hey, it's time for us to make a play. What do we want to do?" And running in the boundary toward the Salisbury sideline, I thought was a great call there at the end of the game. And we go back, like for me, at Starmount High School, we finished the game with Bandies in the state semifinals on about the 8-inch line. We had 4th and 6, and our quarterback ended up getting tackled just short of the goal line. But our best player on those 4 downs inside the Bandies 10 never touched the ball in that situation. It's just one of those things as a coach, you see things on film like in that season, Bandies had give up a bootleg touchdown to Chase. So one of those plays we called the bootleg, and they covered it. So every game's different, but the great thing about it, you're in that situation to play there, and that's an experience that those kids will look back and you talk about COVID. I mean, the things that they were able to do during the COVID season is just unreal. And in the long run, they'll look back at those things and say, "Hey, those were great accomplishments." So congratulations, Coach Devine and his team. So good luck to them in the future. And we got our hands full the next couple of years with a couple of these teams that we're going to be playing.
Hey, Coach, you have nothing to worry about. Everyone in your conference didn't make it past the second round. You guys are going to be good. You and Highland Tech and everybody else. Cleveland County made the same round that it lost in the Cleveland County won as many second-round games this year as Highland Tech, so I think you guys will be okay.
Well, Shelby and Burns are 2 young football teams, too, from what I gather.
A little bit. I got a trivia question for you before you go, though.
Groups, but they got some good young players. So we've got some good young players, too. It's a great opportunity for our kids to hopefully show out against really good competition. That'll give us some opportunities as well.
Coach Pruitt, before you go, I got one last trivia question for you about college football. Okay? Ohio State has the most Big Ten national championships with 6. Who has the second most in the Big Ten with 4?
My first mind would say Penn State, but
no, they've got 2.
Too obvious. We probably have to go back in the days of somebody you're not thinking of who has had great football. I wouldn't think it would be Illinois or Iowa, but
you're barking up the right trees, but you're in the wrong tree. You might be in the wrong. You might not even shouldn't be. You shouldn't even be a tree. You should probably be in the ground.
Yeah, it's the Minnesota Gophers.
There you go, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, the fearsome Gophers. They have the 10th. They are tied with the 8th most national championships in history with LSU and Texas.
Wow.
Yep. Awesome. Hey, Tom, I'm going to ask you one more question.
Sure.
Being an official, when that game ended and I was on my way home and I was listening and I heard you speak and you were point on. You said, "I think the officials got it right." I don't know exactly what happened. I think officials would get it right in that situation. I thought they did too. But when you have a situation like that that only happens just a few times in my tenure as a coach. I've only seen that happen a few times. That's why I kind of realized what was going on at the time. But another thing that happens in games, like you may have the ball late in the game in a 4-minute situation, you could have a guy jump off sides and get extra 25 seconds on your clock. In the 40-second clock, that play's going to run, and you're going to get it. You can jump off sides with a running clock, and they're going to run the clock again. I've seen that happen a couple of times where a team might jump off a couple of times in a row, and then the official realizes, they're doing that on purpose. So we're going to stop the clock in that situation. But, if your coaches ever just call a timeout, and as the head coach, Coach Henson has college football experience coming down and say, hey, I didn't call that timeout. I don't think you would plan that. I don't think they did that in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. But a rule that could handle that, and we talked about it last night a little bit, is, your coach just called a timeout that wasn't supposed to. Hey, you're either going to take that timeout now or you're going to get a 5-yard delay again.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
I think a rule like that, if I got a 5-yard delay game penalty there, then I'm not going to take the 5-yard delay game. My coach called timeout, we'll take it. And, every year they have new rules. And a couple years ago, they did the rule where you can take the shotgun snap and down the football. And North Carolina was only one of a few states that was allowed to do that. And then that rule, I think, eventually ended up going through the entire NFHS and can be used in any high school situation. But, those are things that happen in each year. Things get visited. So, you hate for something negative to happen like that, possibly where there was not the communication. But, sometimes the officials are on their headset things. I couldn't tell last night if they were. It just didn't seem like they were because they come together and talk a little more than probably most crews. Right. But I think sometimes you got to get together and get it right. Just like there when Salisbury made the interception, there was a blocking back. Looked like there might have been a flag behind the play, but I think somebody said maybe that was a beanbag. It was supposed to be a beanbag, but it was actually a flag, and that happens too. So, always trying to improve the game and seeing great games makes you feel good about where the sport is, particularly even during this season, and looking forward to a short turnaround and get it going again. So I'll let you guys keep talking today, and y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it. And, to speak to what he said, I think this is going to be visited because coaches that have been around a long time and have experience kind of know how to circumvent the rules.
Oh, yeah.
And they will put the official in a situation that he's going to look bad no matter what he does. In that situation, when the defensive coordinator calls a timeout and you've granted it, what I would have done as the official, I was like, Coach, you said you were going to call timeouts, but he called timeout. That's on you. That's kind of the way I would have handled it, that we're going to go ahead and charge a timeout. Just like Coach Pruitt said, they came out and talked to the kids. I mean, what's the purpose of a timeout? We want to come out and talk to the kids.
Stop the clock and come out and talk to the kids.
And that's what happened. So, Coach, I know you were the one authorized. That coach is not my problem. You know what I mean? He's your problem. That's what I would have told.
Is that an inadvertent timeout?
No. See, what I would have said is this. I'm sure there's a way. It's like Kevin always gets on me. The old travesty of the game. It's kind of like my trump card there. You're making a travesty of the game by doing this. I'm going to eject that person. There's got to be something like that in football, to where you do something that's considered unsportsmanlike and detrimental to the game, to where a penalty can be enforced.
Unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
Conduct.
Yeah, something like that. Or is there some other kind of, I don't know if there's some kind of penalty.
There should be something other than, okay, let's just
that's what I'm saying.
Let's just go play.
That's what I'm saying.
That's never the answer in any stoppage of almost
even
anything.
if it's a 5-yard penalty. It's like, no, it's got to be some kind of penalty on your team. First time 5, second time 15. It's got to be something like that. It's got to be something like that.
Well, either way, Tom, if you score 28 points last night, that doesn't matter. And I like to say that about a lot of them. You can't on these teams when you lose games, close games, like Terry, the West Lincoln game last week. You said, and the same thing with you guys. If you stop them from scoring with 2 minutes left to go in the game, it doesn't matter what the calls were before, right?
That's true.
That's right.
And same thing happened.
They had chances to win the game.
Same thing happened in South Point this year. And Charlotte Catholic did it to Crest in round 1. They went down Tom, you were there. How much time did Catholic have when they got the ball at the end of the game and still scored?
I tell you what, I was criticizing, I don't really over-criticize coaches, but I was like, hey, Coach, you can't take those timeouts to Mass with you on Sunday. It's like, why are you not taking those timeouts but then he proved why I'm in the booth and he's on the field.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where, we like to, one thing I will say is a lot of people are going to second guess the Wildcat. And just like I said, I would have liked to do something else, but the coaches are the ones on the weekend studying the films and practicing this stuff and putting it in. Nothing's fail safe.
Well,
You know what I mean? Nothing's fail safe that they saw something they liked, they tried it, it didn't work, and now everybody's going to say, well, why don't you give that ball to Norris?
Well, Tom,
but if it works, he's a genius.
Well, Tom,
it's just the way it is.
How many times though, it does so? All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Finish what you're saying, that I'll come back to.
No, I'm just saying that every single coach is going to be second guessed at every critical moment in a game like that. And what I would say is, yeah, there's always in my heart, man, I would have done something else. But you have to understand, these are the guys that are working every single weekend, studying the other team, studying their team, giving up their weekends. Yeah. They saw something that they thought they could take advantage of. It didn't work. Now, we all as fans get to say, well, they should have done that.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just going to say this as far as that goes. How many snaps has that freshman taken this year?
Not a lot.
How many plays does he actually know?
But he
people don't get that. You can't people in the stands will be like, well, why can't you just hand it off to the left? Well, as a quarterback, just me knowing if your footwork ain't right, Terry, you're going to mess up the play.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to totally mess up the play. So they're probably limited, Tom, very much in their playbook. So what they probably try to do is throw in a couple wrinkles with other people handling the ball, because they have almost just as much experience as the freshman quarterback does handling the ball. So who knows with that? But again, you guys only scored 7 points. I'm guessing Cameron Sweezy could have put up more than 7. You wish he was there. You wish he's your offense and he's your team. Just like with Shelby, you come into this year, you were 14 points away from going 2-5 on the season. People are like, well, we went 5-2. You're 14 away from going 2-5. And then you didn't have your quarterback anymore. You didn't have your all-state wide receiver anymore. And, your All-American linebacker. It's hard to keep that type of success going, especially in these 2 and 3As. They're way better. All right, time to go to a break. We'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Question: where do you buy a used car with a lifetime warranty? The answer is Friendship in Forest City. Friendship has lifetime warranty on new and used cars. Unlimited time, unlimited miles. That's Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City.
Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville and the Falston Pharmacy in Falston are open to serve you. You can come on in and get your prescriptions filled, or you can continue to use their convenient drive-through window. And at Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville, the grill is also open for breakfast and lunch. You can even call your order in at 704-435-3259 and pick it up at the drive-through. And both stores are welcoming patient transfers. Buy local, shop local at Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street in Cherryville, and the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 North in Falston.
For over 25 years, Moss Realty has been serving clients in Gaston and surrounding counties. Their realtors know the area, not just from maps and pictures, but from living and working in the community. From Belmont to Kings Mountain, Lincolnton to Clover, and more, the hometown specialists at Moss Realty want you to be their neighbors.
Hi, I'm Warren Moss. Whether you're buying or selling your home in Gaston County, call one of the professionals at Moss Realty or visit us online at mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
What's next?
Code 12, flickering lights.
What if it's a ghost this time? Please enter. Definitely a ghost.
I've seen malarkey like this before. Classic bad wiring.
We got this. Thank you.
See, Pete, no ghosts.
Oh no, this place is totally haunted.
See, Jane? You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Yes, Cherryville, you do have a pre-owned car dealer. It's Eric Johnson Auto Sales, 3629 Tryon Courthouse Road. Get approved, and you can drive home today. Come see the selection with a 90-day, 3,000-mile warranty with a purchase of most vehicles. And all vehicles go through a quality inspection. Plus, with your purchase, get 5 free oil changes. Shop online at ericjohnsonautosales.com. Come see your next vehicle today at Eric Johnson Auto Sales, 3629 Tryon Courthouse Road, a 2018 Car Guru's top-rated dealer.
Ace knows the power of steel, and Ferguson Ace Hardware is your home for famous steel chainsaws, trimmers, and blowers too. And they also have a parts and service department. And it's Ace Power Days at Ferguson Ace Hardware. It's time to get powered up for spring. See the Ego battery-powered mowers, trimmers, and blowers with power load technology. That's Ferguson Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
Hi, this is Vince Hefner, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Cherryville. I'd like to share with you my favorite passage of Scripture in God's Word. Philippians 4, verse 8 tells us this, "And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all that you have learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you." This is Vince Hefner, pastor of the First Baptist Church of Cherryville, reminding you God loves you.
Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia has just gotten a whole lot bigger, and we mean a whole lot bigger. They have just purchased MS Power Sports in Gastonia and are now your dealer for Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, along with CF Moto, Yamaha, and Polaris. Golf carts too. One big dealer under one big roof, plus a complete parts and service department. That's Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Your local Train Comfort specialist, Roland Black Heating and Cooling, has been serving Gaston County with quality-built Train heating and air conditioning systems for over 45 years. Hurry and call today to check out the great deals on Train systems offered by Roland Black Heating and Cooling. Whether it's commercial or residential, Train is there for you. Ask about your new, super efficient Train XV20i today. Call Roland Black for all the details, 704-865-1375, or go online at rolandblack.com and request an appointment. Again, call 704-865-1375. Roland Black Heating and Cooling, 501 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Remember, it's hard to stop a train.
Good morning. Welcome back. Saturday Sports Talk. Friendship, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. I don't know. I would play the Royals fight song, but I don't know if y'all got anything other than water running over a fountain now. I don't know. I don't know what I should play out there.
And for me.
How about them Braves there?
Oh.
What place y'all in? What place y'all in, Hunter?
I'm pretty sure we're
Nick
either
last.
second to last in our division right now.
All right.
Where's Cleveland? Oh, never mind, Tom.
Friendship. Friendship. Thank you for sponsoring this. I guess it's supposed to be a sports show. Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001. Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Go see our friends at Friendship. Now, on with the nonsense.
Yeah, we're better than Atlanta. We're better than Cleveland. Yeah, we're better than the Yankees. Yeah. Okay.
Cleveland just traded a starting pitcher for a washing machine. Okay? All right, so
you know, it's
what
funny.
brand?
Yeah, it was
what
funny.
brand?
I think they got a Maytag out of him.
Is it top load or side load?
I think they got a side load Maytag out of him.
It's funny, Terry, when you said that. When you literally said, "Where's Cleveland?" I about looked at Tom and said they're on their way to Nashville, but
they are. They're not going to be in Cleveland. Like, people think it's not going to happen. It's going to happen.
He's just so pessimistic. Sorry.
Hunter, when you are basically selling players, what are you doing? Let's get the cost of this way down. Move it because it's easier to move. I mean, don't be done. They moved the Browns out of Cleveland. Can you not? And you know why? Because they can't hit. What do people pay to see?
Offense.
They pay to see offense. and they can't hit, so nobody goes to see the game.
Well, tell me something. If they move, how many years will it take you before you have another baseball team?
I don't think they'll have another one.
Don't think so?
Because I think there's an overall decline in the popularity of Major League Baseball.
Oh, 100%.
So I mean, I think because of that, it may be a situation where teams are costing the city money. You know what I mean? So it may be one of those things where they just don't.
Well, you're going to look at it too and say, from the ownership perspective, if I realize that there is a yearning market in Nashville, Tennessee for a professional baseball team, whether we win or lose, then we're going to make money. Because like you just said, that owner might be looking at this saying, at first this was a good investment, but my ROI is not hitting where I need it to right now. And it hasn't been for maybe the past 4 or 5 years, even though you've had a good baseball team back 4 years ago.
I would not. They've been successful. But I just don't understand why you put baseball teams in transplant towns. Nashville is a transplant town. We all know it's all Yankees down there don't want to pay income
No, that's
tax.
Charlotte, but
that's all it is.
Football team, a basketball team, and a minor league team.
That's all Tennessee is. It's Yankees who don't want to pay income tax. You know, so I mean, it's just that's what it is.
I didn't say it.
That's all Tennessee is.
That's all.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's it.
I didn't say it. Tom
That's
did.
it. And Darryl Waltrip. That's it.
You can reach Tom Cinefani at tcent41 at Cleveland County Schools Gmail at hotmail.yahoo.com.
I'm just
send
saying,
your complaints to him. Do not send it to the office.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
His thoughts do not reflect the thoughts of KTC Broadcasting.
Well, all I'm saying is I wouldn't move the team to
Dolly
Tennessee.
Parton is not a Yankee.
She don't live there. She lives in California.
She lives in Dollywood.
She
lives in Dollywood.
She lives in
Yes, that's why it's called Dollywood. It's like Michael Jackson lived on. What was it? What was the name of it?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know.
Neverland Ranch.
Neverland.
Yeah. I got the name of his. I get the name of his estate and Elvis's estate always confused. Elvis's is Graceland, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So I'm just saying I wouldn't move the team to Nashville. I mean, you can't really put it in Charlotte because the Braves are still so dominant here.
But this is a transplant.
I don't think
city.
that's going to matter anymore.
Transplant city. I mean, you know.
I think baseball will come to Charlotte at some point if they expand. The best thing for the sport, Tom, you're right, is probably contraction.
Yeah, for baseball right now, they could probably get rid of 8 teams and nobody'd care.
Tom, out of y'all's history class, how many places are transplant cities? Can you name a few?
I would say Jacksonville, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, shall I go on?
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
I'm proud of it. 0-4. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here thinking I've never really heard of it.
Buckeye, Arizona.
I've never really heard of this in my geographic.
There's a Buckeye, Arizona.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
So
in my
we had a
geography
plant
class,
in
I've never
Buckeye,
heard
so-
of these
I'm just-
transplant cities.
Just telling you, I would not put in professional. I mean, it's like the Panthers. Seriously, go to a Panthers game late in the season if they're not winning. Nobody's there.
I know.
Because they're not. Because they're not. They're the
most loyal fans are the ones that were born and raised here.
Correct.
100%.
Tom, what would you do if the Indians moved to Charlotte? Would you be happy with that move? Personally, not as a, but not you want to see them in Cleveland, but personally,
because this is my home.
Now it'll be your hometown team.
Yeah,
again.
This is my home, so I would like that.
came
It's
to
like
you.
it's kind of like my emotional attachment is still to my.
Now, if
Ohio
they moved to
teams,
Charlotte,
but-
you would have to apply to be a full-time usher at the games.
No, I'd apply to be a broadcaster. I'd send them some tapes from here, and
No.
I'd be the.
He's trying to be the next.
I'd be the next.
Vin Scully.
Vin Scully of Charlotte.
Well, you're second line behind Andy Foster, Tom, for that job.
Yes, I know. I'm behind Andy Foster. I didn't get the job.
Sorry, buddy.
Ridiculous.
Sorry, buddy.
Ridiculous.
Not you.
Not me.
no.
Andy's gonna get.
Wishful thinking there.
I mean, but Charlotte was one of the teams that was up for talks of an expansion.
It's one of the top
team.
3 biggest markets that don't have a team. I think Austin's actually one of the other ones. But they've got.
I mean, they only have 2 teams in Texas, anyways. For as many large cities that they have down there, it's only. Well, where do the Texas Rangers play? It confuses
Arlington. It's near
the
Dallas.
Arlington,
It's near Dallas area.
Okay, and of course there's
or
Houston
there
that
was
plays
in
in
Arlington.
Houston.
Then they moved over.
San Antonio doesn't have a team.
So, but I will say this. I'll make one more political point. I know that Southerners don't like Yankees coming down here in droves. But I tell you, if you just charge income tax, you keep them out. They'd stay up north. They come down here, you don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah,
That's
might,
what Tennessee
might
needs
cut
to do.
down.
I would rather not pay taxes myself than someone.
Yeah. I'd have to deal with it.
All right, so
You want to keep the Yankees out, you
this
got to pay.
this is an article from 2011 where the Indians should move.
And from 2011,
10 years ago, the top 10 cities they should move. Number 1, El Paso, Texas. Number 2, Omaha, Nebraska.
I didn't think
that would maybe work.
Now number 3, and I don't get why there's not a team here anyway, Louisville, Kentucky.
That would make sense too. Yep.
You literally could change the name since the name is just so offensive. Indians. You could, if you called them the Louisville Sluggers, I don't think nobody.
But
bats
here,
an eye.
listen though, if they move to Charlotte, which is number 4 on the list, they're in the Catawba Valley Indian Reservation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There should be no reason they couldn't name their team the Indians here, Tom.
I guess.
If they want to keep the same name, they can come here. We've got the Cherokees and the Catawbas right here, and they call themselves the Indians.
All right.
So, I'd say move here. Albuquerque, New Mexico. New Mexico don't have. That's number 5 on the list.
That's a pretty big city.
I would want to be a first or third base coach, so I could tell all my base runners they took a wrong left at Albuquerque. That would be the best job ever. Or an usher. That's the one you want to be an usher at in Albuquerque. Nope. Got to take a left. Everybody, I'm telling you. Where's my seats? Got to take a left. How quick would I be fired? Sacramento 6. Boise, Idaho. Tom, if they left Cleveland for Boise.
It would make sense, though, because I think it would work there.
Portland in Oregon.
Work there.
Memphis, Tennessee. And San Antonio, Texas are your top 10. Salt Lake City. Hunter, you've been there.
Yeah, it's really nice there.
Nashville's 13th on the list, and Indianapolis 14th, and Vegas 15th.
Listen, now Salt Lake would do very good with a baseball team, too.
I think so, too. It's an isolated state community.
Exactly. It is isolated, but what it is I was listening to an interview with somebody I think it's Bob Costa, has been covering baseball for years, obviously, and he said it's just become regional. So if you get it in a city that might not be one of the larger cities, I know we just went through some of the larger cities that don't have one, but maybe like right there, Salt Lake was towards like the tail end of that. They don't have many professional teams. The only professional team they really have is a soccer team and the Jazz. And the Jazz pull out a huge crowd because that's something to do, and that's their team. So I think and BYU pulls a big crowd because they're usually successful. Utah State, their college teams do. It's a nice, compact area. You could move out there. The problem is, though, is legit, like travel-wise, you'd probably have to travel more than everybody else in your division.
Well, the Jazz do it just fine.
True, but they're part of the West. And this is
they'd have to rearrange.
That's what I'm saying. And baseball is not just East versus West. Central.
Who cares what what division the Astros play in? They change divisions anyway and put them into Central.
I think baseball's going to have to re-examine themselves to make them a more competitive product.
I think you're right, Tom. You've got to have some type of cap / something.
But is it too late now?
Probably.
Like we're so implemented into it where we're having guys making $400 million contracts.
It's just there's so many millions of people in some of these big cities, and some of these cities have 200,000 and 300,000 people.
Yeah, I know.
And they're like, well, in the region. Well, yeah, in the region, but the people in Raleigh aren't coming to Charlotte to watch baseball every night, or they might come once a week, if that. If you even get anybody that'll do that,
right?
Like who's driving 3 hours every week? Like some people do for. Like say football games, they'll go see the Wolfpack on the Tar Heels, but baseball, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weekends would probably be big, but so in the standings right now, Red Sox in first, Kansas City Royals in first, Oakland A's in first. If you're keeping score at home, our preseason previews, not ours, but others, had Yankees as the best team, White Sox as the best team, and Angels as the best team. So 0 for 3 from the major networks on that one.
The only one they've hit so far is the Dodgers, but that's what happens when you buy talent.
It's early yet. Yeah, it's early.
In the East, they had the Braves, the Central, the Reds, and in the West, the Dodgers. So 1 for 6 from Fox Sports on their predictions for the season. Central. First to last in the National League is 2.5 games. In the National League East, it's 2 games. So you could be in last place you lose 2 games, or you could be in first place. Only one team's above 500 in the East. Now, you remember me saying something last week about the Braves announcer trashing the Central? Mm-hmm. And now there's one team over 500 in the East. Good job, guys. In the West, we got 3 teams over 500, guys. Dodgers, Giants, and Padres.
I think the one that stands out the most to me is the Giants. They were
was that the only? Everyone, a lot of people did have Padres. Padres did well last year. So
yeah,
Giants
the
are
Padres
surprising
and
for
the
you guys.
Dodgers. The Giants
Didn't they beat the Dodgers again last night?
Padres, yeah.
Yeah, they
did.
beat them.
I think
two out of the 4 times.
Yeah, I think they beat. I think they
won.
won 5-3.
Yeah.
But the Giants, that stands out to me because I think it was a year or two ago when the manager was getting ready to retire. The Giants were essentially, there was talks, it was just about to be a total rebuild.
Yeah.
And they would probably be how we were talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles the past few years. That was probably getting ready to be the Giants. But I know it's early, as Tom has put, but, I mean, you're right now second in your division. So
after 50 games, figure out where you're at.
I think the one that stands out to everybody, just because they're such a well-talked-about team, is the Yankees. How poorly they're doing, but I said it last week, and I still agree with it. I think this team doesn't really know what they're doing without Aaron Boone as in the dugout. It makes a big difference when the guy making your decisions is not in there. You know, put you in the right places situationally, whether it's in the batting lineup. Maybe you got a guy that needs to be pitching on this day, but instead you got him pitching this day. Again, matchup-wise, I think it really does hurt them that they don't have Aaron Boone. I don't know how long he's supposed to be out. I think, what do you have, like a pacemaker put in or something? I can't remember what.
I can't remember exactly.
I can't remember what it was.
Hunter, true or false?
Yeah.
J.D. Martinez is the best player in the American League.
For the Red Sox?
Mm-hmm. He's 9th in batting average, 1st in home runs, and 1st in RBIs.
Well, hold on, Kevin. Let me ask
Let me ask the
real
in hits.
question.
I know what you're going to ask me.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know the war, but he's first in hits. He's first in every category and 13th in 9th in batting average.
Yeah.
The batting average is 368.
Well, the thing that me and you did in here on one of the podcasts is just we took those real numbers, added them together, and then averaged out where your placement is. And he's probably sitting at either second right now because that 9's probably backed him up. So, I mean, you could say that. I think it helps too. Whenever you look at trying to say, oh, he's the best team, is he the best player on one of the best teams?
They're in first place.
And then, yeah, you would say that. So probably right now in the American League, I'd have to look around a little bit more.
I've got Martinez as your American League MVP
game
right now.
Yeah,
I would say nationally, if you want a winning program, you've got to look down to Justin Turner, is the best batting average hitter on for the Dodgers. I'm looking at batting averages right now. Interesting fact, in his 17th season behind the plate, Yadier Molina is 13th in Major League Baseball in batting average.
Well, I'll tell you who's not 13th in batting average. Francisco Lindor is batting .204.
Yeah. And they showed a highlight the other day on Twitter of him hitting a home run.
Yeah, they are. But,
they got him for his defense.
He was a fan favorite in Cleveland. And
but was his defense worth the $350-something million that you had to pay him?
He plays second base.
No, he plays shortstop.
Well, our 38-year-old catcher is batting .340. He's third he's tied for 5th in doubles and in baseball, and in 9th in home runs. He's our best hitter. What's everybody else doing? What's everybody else on our team doing? Hit the ball.
Do I?
Tom never figures out what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying. When
that's
I say
what
he
I'm
plays
saying.
second base, because that's where he should be. At second for the Mets.
You put your
Because-
you put your
No, no, no,
better
wait,
bat.
Tom.
You put the better bat at second base, Terry. I mean, you put the better bat at second base,
No,
but he's batting
most of the guys that play second base are great defensive players, but their batting average is never great.
Well, you can hide him over there at second base a little better.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I
That's
mean,
what I was after.
so you want a guy that can.
I didn't need you to look at me and go, no, he plays shortstop.
I think you didn't know where he played, Terry, and you're covering your tracks.
Well,
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
All right. Girls, you're both pretty. All right.
Okay.
You're both pretty. All right. Just be back before 10, okay?
I think he really didn't know where he played.
What's Perez's batting average for Kansas City?
I don't know.
Terry, I forgot. God's sakes, I didn't even know y'all were still a team.
Who is Perez?
We're in first. He's our catcher.
You're in first. We're 20 games in.
Yeah. That's all right. Once you start off good, you finish good.
It's crazy to think, though, if we would have said we're 20 games in last year, we're already a third into the season. But now, 140 games still to go.
Perez is batting 274.
274.
So still
He's
not
got
300.
3 walk-off hits.
Well, Terry,
for game winners.
What if I told you that MLB The Show came out on Xbox, and I've been playing in the minor leagues, and my dude is batting 325 right now.
Hey, that's great.
Through 30 games. Take that, MLB. I'm coming for you.
Take that.
I'm coming for you. I'm going to be the best in the game now. But in all seriousness, I don't know what Atlanta's doing, first of all. That's what I really wanted to get to.
Well, you've been talking about them, they're pitching.
Well, I can't help we got 3 starters hurt out of probably a 5-man rotation. I could preach that to the day I die because that, for any team, is going to hurt. But my God, it doesn't hurt our hitting at all. You would think we would be able to squeak out a few more games, but that's just not the case. I just don't see how teams it's almost like they don't prepare for situations like this. Like if you do have 1 or 2 of your starters go down, you're just SOL.
You can't
it
afford
seems
to.
like.
You can't afford to pay them. You can't afford to pay them.
And that's in a league with no salary cap, though, you could.
You can't afford to.
Well, if you're Atlanta, you can't because you don't have Dodger money, who
Right.
can just go out and
Exactly.
get
That's
Trevor
what I'm saying.
Bauer and have probably 7 pitchers that could go at any time. But you just can't, and it's frustrating. You know, I think we talk about it sometimes when we talk about football, especially the Denver situation this past year where they had to play without a quarterback. Really, why don't teams carry maybe that 4th quarterback for those emergencies? And I'm looking at it for baseball wise. So what if you're throwing out there a 4 or 5-man pitching rotation? Have a 6th and 7th guy just in case it gets hairy.
Yeah, because they're laying around everywhere, you know. Just good pitchers who would be the 7th man in the rotation. I mean, they're dime a dozen. They grow on trees.
Listen. Get your scouting department. Get your scouting department up. Make them work, and go find that talent.
Make them work. That's
Make
what
them
you
work.
Get, Terry.
Go
Terry,
find that talent.
Just get somebody and turn them in. You're going to be my number 7 starter. So we want you to have an ERA under 3. 200 strikeouts this year.
I'm going to keep you down here at the AAA level. But as soon as I need you and we got a guy go down, come here.
Well, speaking of ERA, the guy from the Mets, what's his name, DeGrom?
Yeah.
What is he now, 38 and 42?
I think
with
he's got
an ERA of about 2.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah,
I don't like the way
they cannot score runs for him.
I don't like the way they do wins and losses because you can pitch a 3-hitter, give up a run, lose 1.
Yeah.
I mean, he won last night 6-0. But I mean, they was talking about how much his ERA was
I don't
so
like
low.
that either. Like you got to go 7 innings before they even give you the win, or else the guy that comes in for you gets the win.
No,
it's
you got to go. You got to go 5.
5. I mean, I'm like, come on now.
Got to go 5 innings. But then you could be up 3-0, and when you left, the other guy give up 4 runs, and then you don't get the win.
Right.
That's just tough. The other guy,
tough.
or even if they come back and tie, and then they go back up, you still don't get the win. The next guy.
But that's what all they've talked about, though. I feel like for the past 3 years, though, when it comes to the Mets, because that's really been the only talking point for them until this year when they've actually started to get good. But it's been DeGrom or Syndergaard. Oh, they got 2 great pitchers. And I just look at them, I'm like, how can you say got 2 great pitchers and you don't win? You don't win. But you got to remember, 10 other guys got to do their job.
Got to hit.
Not 10 other guys. Why did I say
That
that?
would be
8 other guys got to do their job.
But what I would also say is that a guy could come in, he's up by a run. He gives up a run. He blows the save. Your team comes, scores a couple runs. You get a win.
Yeah.
That's kind of the most misleading stat. It's like this guy has got 3 wins and 5 blown saves.
So if that's the case, should we just discount? People are going to go crazy. Should we just discount wins and losses for pitchers and focus more on an ERA?
I would say ERA is the most important.
Well, I mean, it's one of them things, too. That's just like the other day, and I know y'all look at y'all
because
teams.
it's still a
and I
loss
look
if
at
you
mine.
lose 1-0.
Yeah. Well, I looked at my team the other day, and Duffy had pitched, and it said down at the bottom, Duffy pitches 6 innings, no hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Kansas City loses. But they just show him. And I'm like, okay, he did his job. You know? Show me the loser.
Yeah.
He did not lose.
It's stats are hard. I mean, a lot of them are misleading, but that's one of the things I've always said. It's misleading in baseball that a guy can come in, blow the save, and get the win.
Well, stats in general can be misleading because you can nitpick what you want to show. You can, like how me and Kevin always, and I think you guys would be the same way, we always poke fun at WAR. You're piecing together what you want to piece together to get a product that you can push on us and say, well, this is the true thing. And there are multiple other statistics out there that we could use that have more of a tangible data, like batting average, like strikeouts, like slugging percentage and all that stuff, than your made-up equation where you just, let me add 4 or 5 different things together, and if it goes correctly, then we got to divide it by this, and then we'll get you there. And that makes Mike Trout the greatest baseball player ever.
Right. Somehow Mike Trout's the greatest ever. It's greater than Hank Aaron. What are you talking about?
Right? I mean,
greater than the greatest or whatever. It is misleading. It's.
And what was it now? What was it the other day? I
mind-boggling.
think we saw it was finally, I think ESPN was trying to push somebody else was actually better than Mike Trout now. I think they've realized after, 10, 11 years in the majors.
Was it Soto? Was he the one that was reading the
Juan Soto?
He was the one that was reading the pitcher's mind so well. The article was about how he could read the pitcher's mind.
Buster only wrote like a piece about Juan Soto, and he's like, literally talking about, he's the most advanced hitter the game has ever seen. He is reading the minds of pitchers before they throw the ball. And I was like, I didn't realize mankind had evolved to that yet. Thank you, Buster. Hey, real insight.
Well, the mind-reading 22-year-old is batting 300 this season with two home runs.
If you bat over 300, at least on a season, I'll give you a lot of credit.
Right.
Yeah.
But
you're not the greatest thing that's ever played.
I mean, someone's
300.
finished the season
Yeah, but
higher
you bat
than that.
300, your Hall of Fame numbers are right there.
Well, Terry, it's it's 4th year.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, if you become
you got to
a
do it like
300,
10 times.
average hitter in baseball, you got a shot at the Hall of Fame. Simple.
Well, there's a chance, yeah. All right. So, any other news and notes, guys, on baseball that you guys have?
Nope. It's early.
No, y'all don't have any more A-Rod news or J-Lo? Nothing, Tom?
Nope.
Not this week. Sorry.
No,
he might have played left field or outfield somewhere.
Well, Tatis did hit 2 homers on the anniversary of his dad's 2 Grand Slam game in St. Louis. I remember watching that one on TV. All right,
for him.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
Got to pay off that $400 million contract.
KDCBroadcasting.com.
Yep.
Well, now take down your fishing pole and meet me at the fishing hole.
It's time to go fishing. Whether it's at your favorite fishing hole or the lake or even the ocean, the Great Outdoors in Cherryville is what you need. Come see their full line of fishing tackle. Visit the all-new reel shed and boats too. Bass boats, pontoon boats, and pleasure boats. They've got them all. So take down your favorite fishing pole and head to the Great Outdoors in Cherryville. Highway 150 East, right behind McDonald's. Online at teamgreatoutdoors.com. Like them on Facebook too. Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby has just received a big new shipment of scratch and dent refrigerators. Yes, these hard-to-find refrigerators are now in stock in Shelby at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, and a great selection to choose from. Some with French doors, side-by-sides, and top-mounted Samsung refrigerators. See them today at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at hendrickappliance.com, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Save the date. That's Friday, April 16th for the Giant Spring Open House event at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby. There will be super specials on their full line of equipment. Take 15% off Shindawa trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws. Plus, the Boss will be there broadcasting live from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. Again, that's Friday, April 16th, the Spring Open House event at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, 110 Grigg Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Hey, look at them beans, and look at that corn, and I bet them watermelons must be 3 feet long.
Your beans will look that good with a stop at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. Come get your seeds now and get a head start on that spring garden. Beans, corn, cantaloupes, cucumbers, squash, and more. And now's the time to put on that crabgrass preventer. Plus, you'll find mulch, fertilizer, lime, pine needles, and grass seed too. Get those seeds now at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
Look at them beans.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection that fits your life is something that they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and personalizing protection to meet them. From bundling your auto, home, and life insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage based on your protection needs, your Allstate agent can build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And you're in good hands. Contact Cherryville Allstate agent John Brown today for a free quote. Call 704-435-1920.
You got your go-tos, your standbys, even your favorites. But the beefy, cheesy burgers at McDonald's take you back to where it all began. Your Bite Zero, when you first tasted what a burger should be like. 2 perfectly seasoned beef patties stacked with a single slice of melty cheese on a golden bun. Now at McDonald's, get 2 McDouble burgers for $3. Whatever it is to you, classics are classics for a reason. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
It's time to get cozy with a stop at McGinnis Furniture in downtown Cherryville. They've got something for every room of your home, like inviting dining rooms, plus living room groups, relaxing bedrooms, mattresses, and more. Check out their home accessories, including stylish pillow throws, wall art, and more. And home office furniture, including functional desks, chairs, bookcases, plus locally owned and operated for 3 generations. That's McGinnis Furniture, 303 East Main Street, downtown Cherryville. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Visit the website at McGinnisFurniture.com and like them on Facebook too.
It's getting that time. It is. We're counting down the days.
Good morning, everybody! Friendship Chrysler, Jeep Dodge Ram, Friendship Nissan of Forest City. Saturday morning sports talk, Mitchum's Kitchen Breakfast. I'm Kevin Hastings.
That's the most
Hunter Yancey,
enthusiasm
Tom
I've
Sinafani,
heard
and
that
Terry
been
Reinhardt.
said. And Tom, you do a great job too. But I mean, it's as if he was announcing the pick.
I know.
Well, the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft,
the Jacksonville Jaguars select a Nissan Rogue.
Dodge Challenger.
Right.
I think I'm going to get me an orange Dodge Challenger one day.
I like the Challenger.
And if you want
I want one real bad.
And if you want one, you can go to Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001. Or Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Kevin, go to Friendship and get that orange Challenger.
Now, I'm going to have to customize it, though.
You want it to be the Dukes of Hazzard.
Right. I'm going to put a Christian flag on the top of it, and it's going to be called the General Jesus.
There you go.
Great idea.
Okay.
Tell me it's
There
not.
you go.
Tell me it's not.
Okay.
You're going to have
The General Jesus.
Is recreational marijuana legal in North
I
Carolina?
don't know. That's the reason a lot of times
It
I
should
never
be.
say
A,
nothing.
a comment
I
like
just
that.
said
A
it.
comment like that makes me think it might be legal.
I just never say nothing. I don't know what to say.
What is,
You
what
just
is
sat
wrong
here.
with that?
Terry.
You might get cut
This
if you
is
put the
called
original
entertainment.
flag on it.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Entertainment.
You put a piece-
That's what the people
How about
pay
this,
for.
Kevin?
See,
put
there's
the
a
God,
difference.
it's
Kevin,
the car for
Kevin.
the God of peace.
Kevin, how about the North Carolina flag? You could put the North Carolina flag on.
Tom.
General Smokey.
You could put
I'll put a map
Oh,
of
the
Boone
flag
before
of
I
the
put
state of Georgia.
the North Carolina flag.
because Hazard County was in Georgia.
Yeah. Okay.
So you
Ooh,
could-
what does a
there could be
Hazard
some-
County flag look like?
I'm sure there's one.
But what's wrong with the Christian flag?
There's not, but just don't call it the General Jesus.
Why? He's coming back with a sword of light to cut everybody down. His lightsaber, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Do you not follow Tom?
All you could say is put the Christian flag on it and say that's all I need to do. I'm good.
There you go. General Jesus, baby. All right. We've got mock draft time. Y'all want to mock some drafts? How about
I mock
y'all
drafts
better not
every
trade
day.
up, Hunter. Y'all not better trade up.
What do you mean?
Y'all don't have enough. If y'all trade up, you're
The
mortgaging
well,
your future.
Listen,
so
I was
bad.
about to say, if we tried to trade up, because I'm telling you, the only team I think we would probably trade up with good business with is Carolina, because of Ron Rivera's connections and everybody, all the ex-staff members that we've taken from Carolina. That would be the one that we would probably be on the phone with. The problem is I just don't know what kind of capital they want for that 8th pick. And if you want a quarterback, but really, you would have to try and get the 4 with Atlanta to get the quarterback you wanted. There's no way Atlanta's going to say, yeah, I'll go from 4 to 19th without you giving up everybody in your brother.
I'm like, are you giving up to move up 15 picks for the 4th best quarterback in the draft? So I think you guys maybe. I don't even think y'all should move up. Really, I mean, you need. What do you need?
Quarterback.
Okay, but do you waste? The thing about it is, you've got a good defense, right? And a solid
That's
team.
a great defense.
You need some corners.
So if you add depth and good guys, you should draft. You guys, this is what you should be doing: is drafting 4th through 7th round quarterbacks in this draft. There may be some veterans that come. There was 10 veterans that kind of came available this year. Aaron Rodgers might not be happy next year. Matt Ryan might not be in the same spot next year. Russell Wilson may be coming to Washington. There's a lot of options.
There will be options.
All right, if you're trying to win the Super Bowl, nothing you're picking at quarterback this year is going to do it. So
there will be a lot of options. But this is what every team is doing right now. They have to weigh the quarterback situation out, just how Kansas City won the Super Bowl, how Seattle's won the Super Bowl, how these teams have at least made Super Bowl runs while the quarterback is on the team-friendly rookie contract. And if you can get a guy that can at least do it, that's impressive.
I think I saw it the other day. No NFL teams won a Super Bowl with the quarterback making over $25 million.
I think that's right, because even Tom Brady takes pay cut after pay cut.
All the ones that he won the most was $25
million.
Patrick
Mahomes even just restructured his deal
he
like
won
a
before,
year after.
He won before he was paid.
Yeah.
So it just takes up so much cap space. Terry, sucks for you guys.
Sorry.
What you going to do if you're cap? Terry, what are the Cowboys going to do to make themselves better in this draft?
Got to have a quarterback. No, got to have a corner. We got to have a corner. We know what we got to have.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Last time I checked,
Surtain would be great.
Last time I checked, Jerry
Caleb
Jones
Farley
was
would not be bad, but I know we're not going to get him because he keeps falling.
Right. Well,
because
unless
everybody's
you take
worrying
him,
about his back.
Unless you take him, I mean, you right there at 10. You don't have to listen to everybody else.
No, we don't have to listen to nobody else. If Pitts falls,
y'all
all
let
the
Randy
way
Moss
to
fall.
Us, I'm not stupid. We're going to take him.
Listen, I'm telling you,
ain't no way he's
Jerry Jones just spoke sweet words of a soliloquy to Kyle Pitts on a dang video call.
I'm saying. If
he
falls
raving.
down to us, we take him.
We're
We're not even going to worry about the CB that we got to have.
Then you can trade to get something else you need that you're going to get in the draft. I mean, if Pitts is there, I mean, he's a freak talent. You got to get that kid. A little injury prone, though. That's the only thing that a little injury prone. But other than that, I mean, he's a great talent.
Think about that. Mari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup.
Might be too many cooks in the kitchen, though. Then how are you going to get him?
No. I mean, Dallas, before Dak was hurt, I mean, we was putting up as many points as anybody. We just couldn't stop a soul, and everybody knew what that
NFC
was.
NFC East Atlanta.
Dallas, I put this out there as I'm sitting here today. Dallas will go from a top 5 defense 2 years ago to the worst this past year. Will be back in the top 10 this year.
And your calculus on that is how to
drafting a cornerback.
It's his feelings.
No, I mean it will
because he just says
Nolan
that. He doesn't say how they're going to get
Nolan was terrible. Everybody knows that. Everybody knew he couldn't win.
Okay.
I mean, his defenses have always been terrible.
What personnel is going to change, Terry?
Quinn. What personnel?
Yeah,
I don't think you have to change the personnel. We didn't lose that many people. The only person we lost off of the team that was number 5 was Jones. We lost a CB.
Well, I tell you what,
and
Terry,
we fell from 5th down to 29th.
I bet that has to be the worst coaching ever. If with the same personnel, you can go from dead last to top 10.
Well, I'm telling you.
What is this? What is this? Pop Warner?
No.
Terry,
it's how you.
I know you guys are happy though. You didn't re-sign Alden Smith. Jeez. Oof.
I think they knew about that.
Yeah. And that's why they didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they announced they weren't signing him or released him like the day before.
Seattle didn't know, and then they
right.
signed him.
That's why Dallas was like, got
him.
Exactly.
Got him.
Yeah, they did. I guarantee Dallas did. It just came out like the day before. They're not going to re-sign him or release him, whatever they were doing. And then 2 days later.
You know, but he had a lot of fans, though, that liked him. A lot of fans.
I thought he was going to change it up, get right. Guess that didn't happen. Jeez, dang, New Orleans gets you every time, doesn't it?
I've got some mock drafts here. It says, surprise, surprise, team that, is always terrible. The Lions are open to trading their pick in the number 7 pick, so that might, if Atlanta stays at 4.
There you go. They said they'd open it
the
up.
7 pick will be the spot everyone will be clamoring to get to because.
And Carolina's wanting to do the same thing with theirs.
I don't think Cincinnati or Miami is leaving 5 or 6 right now.
The Lions, in that respect, are actually making a smart move because they realize if a quarterback slides and someone's desperate enough for it, they're gonna move up to get it.
Well, they should.
This NFL draft has been messed up ever since Miami was number 5.
What do you mean 3?
3 was they number 3?
They went to
and
3.
Then they dropped.
They went from 3 to 12, and then from 12 to 6.
Well, there you go, right there. When your number 3 team is giving up their pick to fall back, then jump back up, from 3rd on back, everybody's basic.
Like who did they jump back up to get? Because basically trading out the top 3, they said we're staying with our quarterback Tua.
Yep.
Is what that means.
And then they went to 6.
So if you trade back up to 6, that means I'm guessing they want one of the playmakers, whether it's Pitts or Chase. This one's got Chase. This one actually another mock draft. CBS Mocks has them trading back out again to Denver for Denver trading up to get Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But that I would just scrap that one altogether. They're not. I don't think they're moving from that spot at all. Both of these have them taking Jamar Chase from LSU.
He's
moving
stud.
back up to get him.
Stud.
Detroit. This one says Devontae Smith. The other one says they trade back to New England, and New England trades up for Trey Lance. And the other one says Denver Broncos trade to 7 for Justin Fields. First of all, Devontae Smith. Did you see his weigh in?
Yeah, 6 foot, like 165.
165 pounds.
Yeah. And I heard reports that one of the reasons why he didn't run his 40 is because he's really not as fast as people think. Like, he might be a 4.5 guy. If you're that
not
small
big and not
that
fast.
light.
Yeah.
I think I was listening. I think it was Daniel Jeremiah or somebody was like, I think they were like, Devontae Smith is probably going to be the guy that falls. And he just had one of the best wide receiver seasons in college football history. But, I mean, you're getting ready to go against guys that run 4.3s backwards.
Yeah, but
okay?
nobody could cover him, man. Nobody could cover that.
It just depends. But I tell you what, there should be no reason anybody goes wide receiver-wise. Outside, Kyle Pitts is a tight end, so it don't matter. But Jamar Chase, like, people forget. Justin Jefferson was the rookie of the year or should have been, but he set a bunch of rookie records for wide receivers. Jamar Chase was better than Justin Jefferson at LSU. So, whoever's drafts Jamar Chase is getting a stud outside. Like, he could be a top 5 receiver in the league.
All right, well, I want to read you a couple of mock drafts. We'll talk about our teams as we kind of bounce around. Jaguars, of course.
I don't think that's in question.
Lawrence, Jets, Wilson. 49ers move up to 3 for Fields. 49ers get Mac Jones. 49ers, Mac Jones. Pitts across the board on Falcons is what it says, and Sewell for the Bengals. Miami, it looks like across the board for Chase. And then 7, it gets wild with trades for Detroit. Now, Panthers fans, we're a Panthers affiliated network. It's got one you trading out to the Bears, and the Bears trading up for Trey Lance. It's got one you sitting still and Penny Sewell following all the way down to you. And the other one's got you taking tackle Rashawn Slater from Northwestern.
I think Slater would be better than Sewell.
So there's Panthers options at 8. And in this, how many teams are going to be wanting a rookie quarterback next year? Like, somebody's got to have pick rookies next year. Somebody's going to be bad.
All I keep hearing is next year's a bad quarterback class. I'm like,
they
you
won't
don't
say
know.
That. They won't say that in January.
I'm
They'll have
say,
4 go in the first round.
Yeah, you don't know. Some guy could make a real leap next year. Like, come on now. Some of them are sophomores going into their junior season. Like,
if your team needs defense, it's going to be a great draft because everybody's going to waste those picks on those offensive players. You can get yourself some value later in the draft.
I think I read a story. It was like the latest in the first round that a defensive player was taken last was like 7th.
Yeah.
But now it's got an opportunity to be 10th, which would be like the first time in like 15, 20 years.
What I
appreciate it, guys.
It's one thing is because your fan base puts so much pressure on you,
right,
to draft those, those highlight players on offense, and really, like you said,
now.
Kevin, if you look at all the Super Bowl champions,
50 of 55,
they all have top 10 defenses. And you have to build the defense.
That's why I was talking to Matt Chapman about that, and he was like, "You got to have a good quarterback to win." I was like, "No, you got to have a good defense."
That's the perception.
And he said, "Well, Tom Brady
don't hurt."
He said Tom Brady's won 7 of 20 Super Bowls. I said, "Well, that's a good percentage. That's 35%." But the top 10 defenses won 50 of 55 Super Bowls. So what's the percentage on that? And so it's closer to 90. So yeah, that's more of a bearing. It's more like, to me, you need a good defense and a quarterback that don't mess up.
A game planner.
Right. Anybody
like
that
Peyton
it
Manning,
don't matter
when
if
he went to Denver, he was not the greatest.
No.
But his defense was fantastic.
Right. And as long as you don't turnovers are so big. It's turnovers. And that's the thing, Terry. Like you said, Brady didn't play. Look at Brady's numbers in this playoffs. They weren't great at all. And they won. His defense stepped up. He had a top 5 defense at the end of the year.
What lost the 49ers their Super Bowl against the Chiefs a year prior? Jimmy Garoppolo threw that big pick.
Yeah.
It did. Turnovers. It was huge.
And how many points did his defense give up?
Like 20-something, barely. They didn't give up a lot of points. I think they gave up less than league average.
Trent Dilfer can win a Super Bowl, not turn it over. Brad Johnson can win a Super Bowl, not turning it over. I mean, these guys can win them, not turn. Dan Marino can't win a Super Bowl and be one of the best throwers we've ever seen. So the defense is the first priority, but you get a top 10 defense and a good quarterback. That's the formula. You can't, you want a good quarterback. So looking at these, Terry, it's got Cowboys going Surtain in 2 of them and an offensive lineman in another one. And honestly, Terry, with the way people are falling back to you, I would honestly maybe look at the offensive line too as well. After you used to have 3 All-Pros and they're falling fast with injuries and ending in their careers. So what do you think Dallas at 10 should be doing?
Well, again, if Patrick is there, that's who we go get. If he's not, I mean, if Pitts falls back, we take him. The problem you're going to have in Dallas, and Pitts should be gone, I'm going to say that. But what does Dallas do if he falls back and there's Pitts, there's Surtain, and you got offensive linemen there that you could have? You'd have your choice, but you can only take one. So what does Dallas do?
Terry, y'all can have the second best lineman in the whole draft, or you could pick something else.
Yeah. I mean, what
Terry,
do you do?
The final say is Jerry.
Oh, I know.
And if he wants Kyle Pitts, like I saw him on national television trying to not salivate over,
now he's picked linemen in the first round, and it's worked out every time.
Yeah, he has.
And that's what I don't get is hey, pick in the first round. Look at the last 4 Super Bowls. The lines were pretty good.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard for me to sit here and say I'm going to take this offensive lineman and I'm going to let Pitts and Surtain go.
People got to remember,
Pitts ain't getting there. If Pitts is there, you take him.
People got to remember, too,
Surtain, I don't know
this is what they call, like, just before the draft is lying season, though.
Right.
I mean, Jerry could just be putting up a front, wanting to see if somebody wants to give up some numbers give up some stuff thinking that, oh, my God, well, if he's there, he's going to take him and we want him. Or he wants to try and force one of the teams in front of him to take him so they fall back.
Jones is the worst GM in football.
I agree.
I would not give him any credit for doing anything savvy to improve his football team.
Well, I would give his son Steven a little bit of credit.
The best things they've ever done is draft those linemen in the first round.
Yeah.
Think about this, Terry. If they would have drafted a lineman instead of Ezekiel Elliott, they'd have won the same number of Super Bowls so far. So what do you mean no?
No,
zero.
I mean that's what we're thinking now, but at the time you would have never gave.
I know,
up
but
Zeke.
I know at the time. Let's say
you have to pick those high profile players. There's too much pressure on you to do it.
But the smart thing again, Dallas would be in a better situation today with having a first round lineman instead of Zeke, and then they could just fill Zeke's hole with someone else in the second, third, or fourth round. They would have been better off right now having a lineman than Zeke.
When Dak went down, the whole team went down. I think at that point in time,
Terry, they were 1-3 when he got hurt, and the only win was the onside kick. They should have been 0-4.
I know that.
Dak
but
didn't.
the offense all believed in themselves. It was the defense that was no good. The offense believed that they could score with anybody, and Dallas did. They just couldn't win a game.
They're going to be top 10 with the same players.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They'd be 35-34.
Listen, Tom, we're gonna add a corner.
I mean,
we're gonna add a corner.
But I mean, I don't think it's that. That's just like when he went down, Zeke, I think, quit. I think a lot of them quit because then they wasn't used to Andy Dalton come in and wanting his way, and then they wasn't used to it. Did they change it at the end of the year? Yes, Dallas changed it.
Now
they
that
got
red
better.
rifle's going to be up there in Chicago battling out against Aaron Rodgers.
Let me ask you.
Hunter, he's going to be the starter, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Hunter, would you want a quarterback to throw 28 touchdowns, 16 picks, and complete 65%?
Yes.
That's Andy Dalton's numbers last year.
Yeah. You almost got a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception
65%
ratio.
completion.
He's complete 65. You know what that's though? Still though, that's Teddy Bridgewater. I could sit here and tell you that's Teddy Bridgewater's number. 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's going to average about 60 to 65% completion percentage because he's not going to throw it very deep, which means his total yards on that game probably 250 yards through the air.
There's been no takers on Bridgewater yet.
And
Andy Dalton is still 8
and there
games
won't
over
be.
500 in his career. He's
Somebody-
still over
somebody
500.
Somebody will give up a 5th-round choice for him. I think that
For a backup, probably.
Yeah,
he
he
ain't gonna
wants
be-
to start.
He wants to
start,
but he needs to recognize what his role now. I keep saying that about some of these guys. Like when I didn't
Tom,
think
I want to
Cam
be the
Newton was gonna
CEO of
get it.
Amazon, but there's only so many positions available right now.
I want to teach at Harvard, but they haven't called.
Only so many
That's just what I'm
positions.
saying. It's like that's why when I didn't think Cam was going to get a job because I didn't know if he would be able to accept someone saying we're going to take you on, but as a backup role. And it's because what are we talking about right now? 4 or 5 quarterbacks going in the first round this year. They're coming out every year, and there's just not enough time if you don't prove that you can be a long-lasting starting quarterback in this league. They just go roll through you like a Rolodex.
All right, Tom.
The next guy.
Well, my whole deal in behind quarterbacks is Burrow left Ohio State to go to LSU, and then he becomes elite once he gets down there, and all of a sudden he's the number 1 pick. I mean, nobody can sit here and tell me over 1 year this dude becomes elite, and now he's at Cincinnati. Don't get me wrong, I understand he got hurt, but when he turned Cincinnati around, why? I'm going to sit here and tell you he will not. Burrow will not be their long-term quarterback in Cincinnati.
First of all, I think that's blasphemous.
No, it's not.
He was running a West Coast, the same offense that Carolina is running right now with the Panthers. He did that and put up some of the best numbers in college football history.
He did. He went to LSU because he had great people around him.
And the person that beat him out,
going to jump out there and get a bunch of people to go around him, it makes him good.
And the person that beat him out at Ohio State, I know he didn't pan out when he was with Washington, was Dwayne, but he does hold multiple records in the Big Ten for throwing as a quarterback. So think about it. You got these quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts still went out and did good when he was at Oklahoma. You got these guys, these programs bringing in these 5 stars every year. If you at least want an opportunity to play the position, I don't blame Joe that he transferred. If anything, that was the opportunity that he needed to show that he had the skill sets to be the number 1 pick. I think Joe Burrow is going to be fine. Now
he'll be good for Cincinnati. 7-9, 8-8, no playoffs.
You said I don't think he's going to turn them around. Well, when has anybody turned Cincinnati around? I think that's an organizational problem. I don't think that's a Joe Burrow problem.
Andy Dalton's first 5 years: 9-7, 10-6, 11-5, 10-5, 10-3.
Oh, I know they had top 10 defenses at the time. Marvin Lewis was the head coach. Got ran out of town because they could never win a playoff game.
Perfect was out there headhunting on defense.
Yep. That was a hard-hitting defense.
So are y'all crediting Pac-Man Jones for those 10 wins and not Andy Dalton?
Pac-Man Jones could play. He's just kind of.
Remember when Pac-Man Jones was in Dallas and they had like people following him around?
Remember when Pac-Man was like, I don't know, pulling guns on people and shit? Like, whoa,
Pac-Man. He could play. I mean, you got to give a guy credit when he can play.
Yeah, he's good. Don't get me wrong.
He's just different.
He is different. The thing with Cincinnati, though, at the time as well, you had skilled players and playmakers around Burrow. Like, he had or not pro, around Andy Dalton. He had A.J. Green. He had good running games when he had a healthy J.D. Mixon and a Giovanni Bernard. Now Giovanni Bernard is down with Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers, so they've just added on to that. Defense was good. So you got to have pieces around these players or else they're just not going to work. You know, like that's anybody. We can sit here today and talk, and I hear it every day with every talk show, especially Colin. Trevor Lawrence. Who's he going to throw to?
He's not going to change nobody in Jacksonville.
Who's he going to hand the ball off to? James Robinson did fine last year. But if you ain't got teams around these guys, that's why if you are Justin Fields and it did come out that he is epileptic, maybe your stock falls a little bit because teams are a little bit wary of that. Is that a bad thing? You kind of get an opportunity to go to a better establishment, a team with a better coaching staff. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing.
Hey, I mean, what about this? Y'all gonna tell me I'm crazy, I know, but if I'm Jacksonville, I'd trade the number 1 pick because you could probably get more for this draft pick than you could for any other draft pick because everyone is sold on Trevor Lawrence to be the greatest thing ever.
You could.
And you've got a quarterback sitting in your house, Hunter, who in 8 games last year threw 6 touchdowns, 5 picks. Go to out 16 games, that's 30 touchdowns and 10 picks.
Mm-hmm.
The year before, in 12 games, he had 21 touchdowns and 6 picks. Both years added together, 63% completion percentage. He'd averaged 4,500 yards if he played the whole seasons on those. And again, man, if people are going to if somebody give you Ricky Williams type trade, I'm not so. Listen. We'll see if Trevor Lawrence does what everybody thinks he might do, but he's still got to come in the league and beat some good quarterbacks already in the league.
When has Jacksonville ever been good? When they had a great defense?
Well, right, you're 100% right.
Saxonville.
Now Saxonville has made a couple AFC Championship games. Mark Brunell was pretty good too, Terry, but that was a long time ago. But it's right again. It's the defense. It's the defense. Jacksonville would be smarter right now to trade their draft. Who's got the most picks? The Dolphins or whoever? Say, hey, y'all want Trevor Lawrence? We'll take your 15 pick, 10 picks or 12 picks. And they would be much better off going forward in the next 10 years.
You would get a haul
they would be better.
Because as sold as everybody is on Trevor Lawrence in this draft, you could essentially look at them and basically sell them saying, well, this might be the only can't-miss player in the draft compared to everybody. I will trade you this pick for 5 or 6 other picks that you want to give us, whether that's from this year's draft, a combination of this year's and future draft picks, maybe even 7 picks. Because I can probably, I'm telling you, he's gonna work. Yeah. Everybody thinks he's gonna work.
Well, I don't, but
if you need him, then come get him. I've been on the Gardner Minshew train since he started playing. Like, I think he can play. He's just getting a raw deal.
Why don't y'all just offer y'all need to? Why have y'all not offered anything for Minshew? I don't know.
Because we just gave Fitzpatrick $10 million.
Okay, well that's nothing.
I thought that was dumb. First of all,
but I would still bring him in the house or trade for. Obviously, y'all ain't looking at Minshew at all and don't care. I think y'all are.
Think about it. He's on a rookie contract. He was taken in the 6th round, so it's not a bad rookie contract.
This is only Ron Rivera's 2nd year. He's building his defense and his team, and you got 1 year shot. What he's doing with Fitzpatrick, Hunter, is giving his veterans a shot to win.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got a shot. I'm giving you a Hail Mary here. This is it. And then next year, or the next, they're going to move on and do something else, I imagine and guess. But
he's going to build what he was trying to build in Carolina.
Well, Tom, Cleveland's at 26. This one's got a linebacker from your favorite school, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I saw that. Either linebacker, D-end, or I've seen some. Every single pick I've seen is defense. They're going defense, and when they let Richardson go, I knew. I was like, okay, now it's defensive line. That's what they're hoping for, because there's no guarantee that Richardson is going to come back and say, okay, well, I'm going to come back and play for half of what I was making. There's no guarantee he's going to do that if he can get more money somewhere else. So,
I'm looking at 4 different drafts, and they all have different. They have 4 different defenders.
But yeah, they're going defense. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind they're going defense. But I think in this draft, because there's so much uncertainty after Lawrence, I think when some of the pieces start coming into play, that's when people are going to start jumping around. Everybody's just hiding and waiting. They're seeing, okay, Lawrence, we know that. After that, we don't. We don't know who everybody's going to take.
I think the draft starts at 4.
I don't think it. I really think it starts after 1.
I thought it was at 8 o'clock.
You're hilarious. I mean, I don't know who's. I mean, is Wilson going to go too?
More than likely.
You don't know that.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He said more than likely.
I wouldn't take him to. You're gonna think I'm crazy.
I wouldn't either.
I would take either Trey Lance or Justin Fields at 2. But
Trey Lance is the steal of the draft.
He may be.
He's coming to 2. Tom, if he fell back to 26, would you want the Browns to get him?
No.
Hunter, if he comes to 19, do you want the Redskins to get him?
Who?
Trey Lance.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
Listen. If I had the opportunity, I'm trading up for him.
Okay.
But
You just picked up Baker's 5th-year extension where he's going to be making $19 million.
Right.
So why in the world would you draft a quarterback?
Here's why. Because a good backup costs $5 to $10 million, and a rookie costs $3.
Well, they got to do something with.
So you just standing there as a rookie and hey, you watch Baker for 2 years, buddy.
They're paying Case Keenum too much. They
Right.
paid him $10 million a year. They paid him too much.
Would you not rather say? Think about it. You cut Keenum, give the 3 to 5 to Lance, on his rookie deal. Then you got $5 million on the corner.
It's not that simple because if you cut somebody, you might take the cap hit. So,
I know that. I'm just saying in general, though. Would you not rather spend that $10 million?
I would much rather
on a backup quarterback and a defender.
And not only that,
if you're making $10 million, you need to be on the field.
But think about this too. Think about this too. They say Trey Lance might be a year away from starting, so he might need to sit anyways. You don't have to extend Baker then. If you wanted to let him walk, and you think Trey Lance is better than him anyways, and you got a fresh rookie contract.
I think it'd be a smart idea.
But Baker is the fit right now. You got to understand, talent and ability is one thing, but you got to have somebody who's a fit.
Right now, yeah. But
it's so funny because remember last year when y'all was getting ready to go to the playoffs, people was talking about that's the guy that needs to go. Yeah, I don't understand how this guy can. And you know what? It's at Cleveland. I can understand Cleveland doing this and went through quarterbacks year after year after year. And finally you get a guy who gets you to the playoffs, and we're talking about letting him go.
What, this might be the longest tenured quarterback that they've had in 20 years.
Yeah, so what you do is don't mess with that. He has proven anyway. You have proven anyway.
Yeah,
I don't care who you
picks
get
at the wrong time. He's like a Tony Romo. He throws them at the wrong time of the game.
His interception to TD ratio is one of the best in the league. But anyway,
but he still throws picks at the wrong time.
But anyway, what I was trying to say is he has proven that if you have an offensive line, boy, that quarterback really looks good, doesn't he? I mean, you know, it's just. It's one of those things you can get Joe Burrow, but if you can't block for him, he's going to be in the hospital.
Hey,
I mean, that's
talking about money on
simple.
quarterbacks and backups and starters. I brought up the list. I'm going to read you all the quarterbacks making more money than NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. Taylor Heineke.
Mm-hmm. He just got extended.
Tim Boyle.
Okay.
Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
C.J. Beathard.
Yeah.
Jeff Driscoll. Jordan Love. Marcus Mariota, Joe Flacco, ain't even the Baltimore quarterback anymore, making more money to back up somewhere else.
Back up in Philadelphia.
Cam Newton, Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, Tyrod Taylor, Case Keenum, Daniel Jones, and, of course, all the regular – Nick Foles and all the regular folks that you would normally know.
Jackson,
but almost everyone is making more money.
He's going to get paid.
You're right.
He's going to get paid.
But that's what I'm saying, Tom, is think about that. You can get MVP caliber quarterbacking out of a backup in 2 years, and picking at the 26th pick.
Yeah, I know.
Not bad idea, Brownies.
But everybody in this room and you over there behind the glass pane realize ain't no way he's falling outside of the top 10.
No, I don't think. Lance. There's a chance because once the fourth quarterback goes, like let's say the first three go, and the fourth team's sitting there saying, but they like the other guy better than him. You know what I mean? So there's a chance, like Aaron Rodgers was either going to go first, second, or 30th because only those teams wanted those quarterbacks. So I'm saying there's a gap. Once you get to fourth, there may be a chance for him to drop back down to the 15, or Mac Jones drop down to 15 and 20.
I think if he falls all the way to number 8 where Carolina picks, Carolina takes him.
Who, Trey Lance?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, you got 5 quarterbacks. You got Fields, Jones, and Lance. Somebody's got to drop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's no way all 5's going in the top 10. That would be insane.
It's a hot commodity,
and
man.
If it does,
I'm telling you. Well, why would they not though? If you've got 2 teams that are openly saying we'll trade out, if you want them, come get them.
I'm saying.
Oh, there's some stupid teams. Yeah. All right, Denny Hamlin is on the pole. Joey Logano second. Truex third, William Byron fourth. Alex Bowman gets his first win. Now, Terry, here we go with the NASCAR fixing races again. You ready?
I'm listening to you.
Well, so Hunter, Sunday was Jimmy Johnson's first IndyCar race.
He is terrible.
He was just happy he didn't wreck.
That's it.
Well, 4 other guys did, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He finished, 17th, 19th?
19th out of 23.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying is, it's just ironic. Just a little bit ironic, if you believe in irony, if you believe in coincidences, that the same day that Jimmy is taking viewers away from NASCAR on watching IndyCar racing, his 48 car finds victory lane for the first time since he left. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. I know how NASCAR works. Let's see. Xfinity Series is Saturday today at 4, maybe. I don't know if it's raining where they're at. Where are they at this weekend, Terry? Talladega.
It's
Oh.
supposed to clear up. It'll be nice tomorrow. They'll race.
So they're in Talladega. I did see one of the ladies, is JoJo Peterson. She wasn't approved for Talladega. And Tom, I don't know, or Hunter, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but you have to, on the draft races like Daytona and Talladega, you have to show a competence in being able to draft and keep up with speed. And you've got to do a certain number of races and a certain number of things for them to allow you to race. So one of the racers was not allowed this weekend because of that. So that was a big story. Let me pull up the standings real quick, kind of go over that. Another winner this weekend, like I said, Alex Bowman. Different winners. And Terry, before the season started, and here's also why I'm not saying it's fixed, but it might be fixed. Before the season, their campaign, Hunter, was this is going to be the best season ever.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're telling me
they still are
when the icon of the sport retires,
Richard
it's
Petty?
gonna be the best season ever. Is that what y'all? How is that even possible? And then now you've got how many different winners, and they talked about that. And I remember one of the announcers, I think it was Larry McReynolds, he said, guys, I've got a sneaking suspicion. It was like race 1. He goes, we're going to have 13 different winners this year out of the 16. And right now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different winners so far. So I'm not saying something fishy's coming. Yeah, Kyle Busch is not even there.
Kevin Harvick.
That's how awful Busch is.
Kevin Harvick hadn't won a race. That never happened.
Well, Terry, you're well. How do you feel? You're seeing what happened to Kyle Busch and his team, the same type of thing that happened to Johnson. You're sitting there, you can drive, and then you're sitting here and your car's not doing anything. So, your crew chief's getting outdone. That's not the same crew that was on the Bowman team. That's a different. Jimmy's crew was on the 5 car, and they finished out, I think, 31st.
Well,
this year.
I'm not going to say he's not doing nothing. I mean, he hadn't won a race, but he's in the top 10. I mean,
he's 11th.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about finishing in the top 10
he's
in racing.
He's got 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s.
Yeah, 5 top 10s, and I think the leader only has
8.
Okay, 8. So that's what I'm saying. So he's not that far behind from finishing in the top 10 all the time. I mean, it's just, can you get by the guys that are in front of you? But the problem he's running into is that somebody different every week.
Ted, do you think these stage wins are more of a
hindrance?
No, not hindrance. An example of who's actually driving the best? Because when I go through wins and standings, I get a different list, and then when I pick on stage wins, I get a list of guys of only like 8 or 9 people here. Hamlin, Blaney, Larson, Logano, Truex, Byron, Elliott, Keselowski, and then Buescher snuck one in. Are those not the top guys that are having the best season so far? Is those guys right there with those stage wins?
Yeah, it is.
Because Kyle Busch has no stage wins.
Yeah, none.
Kevin Harvick, no stage wins. I mean, just look.
And that's hard to believe that you're this far in the season and they have none.
2 years ago, Terry, if I'd have told you Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick will have no stage wins and race wins, and Jimmy Johnson's driving an Indy car, what would you tell me?
I'd have probably told you that would never happen, for sure.
Y'all tell me I'm crazy all the time on
Yep.
here. And
Yeah.
so that right there, I could have said 2 years ago.
And
Terry,
see, the big
2
deal
years,
about
Kyle ain't
tomorrow-
going to win, Harvick ain't going to have a win, and Jimmy's
Yeah.
going to be driving Indy car.
Now, we're talking about tomorrow where we have 8 different winners. Tomorrow could be a different one.
It could be anybody tomorrow.
Yeah, anybody. All of them will be up there.
It's hard to pick a favorite. How do you gamble on this one, Terry?
You do not. You just guess.
You pick, do you pick 10 and hope one of the other 20 don't work?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to go through some fun tweets and stuff for a sec. Y'all got any other news and notes, high school final comments or anything? I know our season's over. Baseball is next week. We'll have baseball next Friday on KTC on all 3 stations. Go ahead, Tom, or anybody, if they got anything before I get it to some tweets.
The only thing I got to say is you got baseball coming up, you got wrestling coming up, and all of it's going to be going on through when school is out.
That's right. It's going to be interesting to see if some of these kids choose to finish out their season or go to Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
Yeah. Got wrestling coming up. All right. But all of my stuff came off. It looks like my tweets that I took pictures of this week came off of basketball for the most part. Terry, last night, Draymond Green, the first player since 2014, Rajon Rondo, with 10 rebounds, 15 assists, and 2 points or less. 2 points. Can he not pitch in?
Hey, the guy was he had some of the prettiest passes last night to different people cutting to the hole. I'm telling you.
That's fantastic. You should be a LaMelo Ball fan. We're going to buy you a LaMelo one. Now, speaking of Draymond, how about this,
Gotta have a
Terry?
leader.
Tom, I want him to score points. You know why? The Warriors are a 500 team, right? Basically. A little bit over, right around it.
500 exactly.
Okay. They're 12-3 when Draymond Green scores. Stay on the edge of your seats, folks. 8 points or more. Tom, that's all they need is 8 points from this dude, and he's averaging 5. They're 12-3 when he gets 8. Not Curry getting 35.
Why do
They're
we talk about
12-3
this, Tom?
when Draymond gets 8 points.
I
Because
could
it
care
was in my
less.
tweets.
How many rebounds did he have? How many assists did he have? There's more to the game than just being out there to
Terry,
score.
I just said they're under 500 when he has less than 8 points and a lot of assists and rebounds.
This is
and I say he's over 500 when he has 8 points. How do you not care?
This is a 9 a.m. discussion. It's 10:18.
All right, Steph Curry threes this week. 36. Orlando 33, Sacramento 33, the Wizards 29, and the Pelicans 26. Mike Tyson fought 15 times in 10 months in 1985. And in those 15 fights, he only fought for 29 minutes.
That's a good payday.
That's a very good payday. 15 fights in 10 months for 29 minutes. Mike Tyson, folks. All right, folks, that's all my fun tweets of the day. I guess I ruined Tom's morning. It's raining outside, Tom. Go enjoy the rain. I hope you get to go outside. The whole Jordan LeBron part, when people argue 6 and 4 championships, this was a fun one, last one. They were talking about Jordan's. They did a special on Jordan's game against the Celtics, Terry, the 63-6-5, and they lost.
Yep. Sure did.
Someone responded, LeBron's game 5 against the Pistons, he had 48, 9, and 7, and that blows Jordan out of the water. 48 points blows 63 out of the water. See, now this is the argument we have to have between 4 and 6 championships. That's the ignorance you deal with every day. By the way, 2 years ago, NBA players, 78% of them voted on Jordan as the greatest of all time, current NBA players. All right, We'll see you guys next week on which show am I on right now? Tom, read the stuff.
You
real
were on
quick.
the Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Saturday morning sports talk, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina. You can call them at 828-919-3001. Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension, Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Terry, take your money, get you a new Dodge.
See you guys next week.
Question: where do you buy a used car with a lifetime warranty? The answer is Friendship in Forest City. Friendship has lifetime warranty on new and used cars. Unlimited time, unlimited miles. That's Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City.